deep down I was like, no, I'm a small tire guy, because there's this like battle between small tires and big tires. Now that I've done both, I'm like, I don't see why you guys are arguing, but the small tire guys think the big tire stuff's dumb, and the big tire guys think the small tire stuff's dumb. I think they're both cool. They're both so much different. I call it the fun zone, where you can stay in the fun zone, you can go fast, and it's not super expensive, it's not a bunch of work, it's fun. And as soon as you try to go to that next level, you exit the fun zone.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Minnoxide podcast. I'm your host, Harris, aka Minnoxide, man of many automotive aspirations, and I'm here with my Ford-loving co-host.
I knew you were going to bring that one up here.
All right, Dan.
Yeah,
Mr.
Dan.
Gunny Garage.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think it's fair game. But honestly, we're surrounded by a variety of things here today, so I think it kind of works out. He was in heaven yesterday. He got riding the GT40 and all that stuff, and it's like, yeah. So we got switched for the other team.
Today will make up for it.
Yeah. Anyways,
although I do see you guys like to throw them in Fox bodies all the time.
Hey, that's got a small walk forward in it, though.
Does it?
Don't worry.
Oh, all
yeah,
right,
it does.
cool.
Hell yeah.
I like it.
Well, anyways, today we are here with John Dock of Nasty Racing. And dude, I'm really happy that we made it down here because, again, we like to learn about, anytime we travel the country, it's like, let's see who does what outside of everywhere. So go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourself, and we'll just kind of go from there.
Yeah. My internet persona, John Dock. Been doing YouTube for a while. That's kind of like my claim to fame. Started off just doing some like small street car racing, and now this year, 2025, we're running Pro Mod, PDRA Pro Boost, and doing, I think, decently well at that for the newcomers. So I've been documenting my life on YouTube for, I mean, really, I guess 2017 is when I got my first camera, and at one point I was doing daily uploads. So I mean, hell, every single day for I think 3 years, I didn't miss one, and documented my whole racing career, whole journey, life, everything going on, work, life, fiance, everything in between, and here we are.
Well, you have a pretty legit operation going on. So actually, I wanted to ask you this. Like, I know I was going to ask this later, but for your uploads, are you uploading like the next day sort of deal all the time, or?
So I've slowed down in the past like 2 weeks. I could say I really slowed it down from every day to every other day. So I pretty much film. Gives me like a day to buffer to edit. And normally I'm like, hey, I'm gonna edit the next day. I don't edit, and then I come in, the following day in the morning, and I'm like, I got till noon to get this video out. So under the gun a little bit, but yeah, I mean, when I was doing the daily uploads, I would edit that night from what I did that day, and then I'd work until about 4, and that would be my video for the next day.
Dude, because you're cranking them out, and I'm just like, this is, and then they're like really in depth, like high energy, like, and that's the other thing. It's like a lot of people can't keep that high energy going, but yeah, that's super cool. So you've been doing that for however long, and then so what's like been like the last? Well, actually, touch on like the last 2 weeks, because like you're trying to get into that pro mod side of things.
Yeah, so we just started running Pro Modified, which is like the hot class right now. Expensive, but it's where you need to be if you're trying to do some stuff. We've been running the small tire stuff for a while. I love the small tire stuff, but not really as rewarding as the Pro Mod stuff for myself, the whole program, and the team. A lot of guys put a lot of hard work in, and when you go out there and run no time, it's just kind of like, oh, there's the win light, and that's it. In the PDRA stuff, in the Pro Mod, there's qualifying. You can see your hard work paying off. People can relate in the stands. So we made the jump. It was really hot. My partner Chris, he owned a Pro Mod, owns like a whole other Pro Mod team, works with them, and he wanted to get us involved. So we got like what I would consider a nice starter Pro Mod.
Okay.
Definitely not the most badass car out there. It is a Ford. It's a Mustang. So
nice.
There you go. It's got a Pro Line Pro Charge HEMI in it, and yeah, we've just been having a ball. We run a Big Dog the first Thursday of every month, which is a local race at Piedmont, which is not too far from us. So that's what we were doing yesterday. Had to postpone this, so I appreciate you guys being flexible. Yeah. But we do that, and then we run the PDRA stuff. So we're going to Norwalk, Ohio on Wednesday. So a lot more traveling. The events are a lot longer, but it's way more professional, completely different atmosphere. Invite my parents out to it.
Okay.
It's very structured. It's nice. It's like, the professional stuff.
So you said it's more rewarding. What's more rewarding about it?
I think, you go out there and you qualify. It's a tight field. And if you can get in the field, you can see your hard work paying off. There's no easy rounds either. So if you get a round win, like everyone's charged up, and it's a completely different level. I love the no time stuff. Don't want to disrespect it. I'm still a no time guy. I'll still go to my no time races. But I think for like the crew to, we go up to the last qualifier and we're one number out, and we go and lay down a pass, and we get in the bump, everyone's like charged up and excited, and it's pretty cool.
So when you say it's a tight field, how tight are we talking?
So the last race in Virginia, we made it to the semifinals, We qualified with a 370 at like 202, and I think the number one qualifier was like a 65.
Okay.
So, 5 numbers separates the entire field. At the big races like World Series of Pro Mod, I mean, you're talking about 3 or 4 numbers. So you go up there and you drill someone on the tree, you win the round. I mean, the racing's just that tight.
So what made you want to get into that side of things over, like you said you enjoy like the no time stuff and all that beforehand. Was it just like a timing thing? You're like, all right, let's just take this up a notch, or what was it?
I really didn't want to get into it, which is funny. Chris, my partner, he was all about the Pro Mod stuff, and I didn't really go to a lot of the Pro Mod races. I'd go and spectate when they're local, but I was never really involved with them. And he's like, man, this is the place to be. And any opportunity that's given me, I'm going to give it 100%. And my guys did the same, and we've been giving it 100% and kind of fell in love with it, the format. I think the professionalism, and then all our buddies are able to sit at home and they can watch qualifying. You have a good run, they text, hey man, good run, stuff like that. I like it's cool. You can see the reaction time. So when we went first round win in Virginia, I went like 0-20 on the tree and won on a hole shot. They show the incrementals. Who I was racing beat me in every single spot except the tree, and we won. So it's more in depth. I think the fans can relate more. They can see what's going on opposed to just seeing the win light. So I like the grudge, the no time. I think it's badass, but being able to go out there and show everybody what we're doing, I think it's a little bit more rewarding for everyone involved.
Is it more regional, or how far out do you guys travel doing that?
We're going to Ohio, we go to Michigan, Maryland, race down in Florida. So I'd say kind of like the East Coast-ish is where we stay. So they have some other Pro Mod series out west, but we don't really mess with that. PDRA is extremely competitive. There's a lot of big names that run it, and we've been having fun doing that. So we're kind of sticking to that, and that still gives us time to do some of the no time stuff in between.
I know it's kind of early for you guys still, but what's the next level look like? Is there another level above this, or
more so like what is progression from where you're at?
Yeah.
Like what does 1 year from now look like?
Hopefully 1 year from now would be like still running the Pro Mod stuff, a little bit more competitive. Right now, when we go to the race, we're trying to qualify, where it'd be nice to try to qualify in the top, third. So maybe just a little bit different goals, and then just being competitive in the no time stuff. I've been struggling a little bit the past couple of years. Had to focus on business a little bit. Kind of racing took a small backseat. So being able to get back into there and put my undivided attention towards that, get our radio program really rocking, have the Pro Mod stuff rocking as well, and we'll still have fun with the street cars. That's what I'd like.
Okay. Yeah. So to go further back, right? So what kind of got you into all this, right? Because a lot of guys, they kind of have a choice in life. Like, I'm going to go do road course, I'm going to go do drag racing, or, I'm on be an EV. I saw a Tesla in your parking lot over there.
Oh, yeah.
So it's like, where did this all start?
Well, I wanted to do something with motorsports.
Okay.
I ended up coming down here, Campbell University, which is like right down the road, on a golf scholarship. I went down here, did like the PGM program, was a certified PGA professional.
Okay.
And I loved golf. I played golf competitively for a while, and I just kind of fell out of love with it. And I always would want to do cars. So I'd end up working at the golf course and want to be at the racetrack. So I was doing everything I could to figure out how to make race cars my job. Got a job at a local speed shop, RPM Motorsports, doing marketing. And I was doing some marketing for them there. They were helping me work on my car and go faster, and that's when I started doing the YouTube stuff. And then from there, it was just like, I got to figure out how to do YouTube full time and make that my job. And started off from the car that I drove to school and drove to class, and just kept evolving.
What was that, by the way? What car?
It's called the Camaro. It is a 5th gen Camaro, single turbo, 400. Now it's got a Power Glide. It's got a 9-inch, and I think it was kind of ahead of its time. It went really fast like 10 years ago, and I don't even drive it no more. It's got parked in the corner of the shop, and I want to redo it now that I've upgraded my skills and can work on the car a lot more and build my own motor, build my own turbo kit, and kind of have it like a good representation of what we do now. So it's just chilling. Everyone hates me for it that I'm not out driving it, but I'm like, just wait, good things are coming.
So how did you build your skills, right? Because you went from being in that golfing world. Did you have any preceding skills, or did that happen after you kind of moved and did that?
I watched like Stacey David's Garage, back in the day. That was as far as like my mechanical skill and knowledge went. It's just kind of being like hands-on. I had some really good mentors that encouraged me to just do it and try it. And honestly, like now, I've learned that if you want to learn how to do it, you just have to do it. And you have to go in there and mess some stuff up and be okay with it. So yeah, I mean, everything is like self-taught how to weld and work on cars and, work on motors. Like I said, I had some really great mentors that I'm super thankful for that, gave me their time and information. And now I can't say I can build a whole car from scratch. I hate doing chassis work. So if I don't have to do the chassis work, I'm good. But everything but chassis and wiring, we pretty much do in-house as far as working on the cars, plumbing them, turbo kits, setups, configuration, everything like that.
So we just literally yesterday had a wiring guy that wires a shit ton of pro mods.
Pro wire?
Yeah, pro wire.
Yeah.
Yep.
Abdul.
Yeah, so we got to learn a little bit about that world. And he's like, yeah, man, I love it.
Yeah, I can't do wiring. Wiring's not my thing. So one thing I've learned is to stay in my lane.
That's one thing I told him yesterday. I was like, most car guys hate wiring, and the fact that you love it is kind of weird, man.
Good for him. We need more people like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, it's tough too. Like, and I don't know if you run into this, like, through the business or anything, but it's like it's hard when people like some of these skills are dying off. Like, for example, we had an upholsterer the other day. He's like, yeah, dude, that guy's from Venezuela. He doesn't speak a lick of English, but man, he does good work. And it's like it's hard to find people.
Yeah.
So so you start kind of doing your own stuff there. So when was your first time at a drag strip then? So
it's so funny. We were talking about this last night. It was like 2014. I had, before the Calmero was the Cow, it was the 5th gen with a cam. And that was my daily driver. Went to Fayetteville Motorsports Park. And I'll give you guys the straight up truth. It was called Freaky Friday, which was like the staging lanes were at the back of like the racetrack. There was that many people there. It's packed, and there was like no curfew. Fayetteville Motorsports Park, like 2014. I did my first pass at like 1 a.m. We were waiting in the lanes that long, and there's just like beer cans. You can get like a contact high. It's just absolutely like the Wild West.
Yeah.
And this is how Fayetteville was. If any people are like local to Fayetteville, they're like, oh, I know about Freaky Friday. And I mean, I was so nervous. I went out there against some Mustang. I went like a 14.5. And on the big end of the racetrack, I'm like, hell yeah, man, I'm freaking out. And the guy like holds up a 6-pack that he smashed in the stage lane. He's like, you want one? And I'm just like, this is chaos. And that was my first drag race experience. I was like, I don't know about all the other extracurricular stuff, but the racing's pretty cool. So I was hooked, and we ended up making passes till like 4 a.m. And I just kept like hot lapping it, and I was hooked. I mean, after that, it was a 14.5, not really that respectable, shifting gears, but I was hooked after that. I was putting radials on the car, I was breaking shit, and it's just never ending.
Okay, so you do that. So how does it progress from there? Like, so actually, what year was that? Roughly?
That was probably 2014.
Okay.
And then I did some like internships. I worked up in Pennsylvania, and then I was upgrading the clutch. The car already had a cam. I was on radials at that time, and I ended up breaking the diff. So I was carless for a little while. This was my only vehicle. I was not a good idea to race my only vehicle, and I ended up doing like a 9-inch conversion. Took it to RPM Motorsports, and they did the 9-inch conversion, and from there I was kind of hooked. We ended up putting a 400 in it, and later on I did another internship, made some money, blew all my money, got a turbo kit put on the car, and that's when we started racing. Like the first time I went out, it went like 620, I think, on wastegate. Ended the night going 590s, and I was like, from that point on, I was done. I was racing forever.
Yeah.
So when that's kind of how the car stayed. It had like an 850 cert cage, 88 millimeter turbo, had a 400 in it, and we ended up going 550s with it. I was running the street car stuff locally at the time. They had a bunch of like street car races, and it was competitive. So we won a little bit, and after that ended up getting a Trans Am called the Boosted Rooster, I think is what it was called. And we did the same thing with that, went some like 5.0s, pulling wheelies, making YouTube videos, and we just we'd sell that car, get something faster, and kept upgrading until we ended up getting some like real deal race cars.
We're because the tracks are kind of prevalent down here, and sounds like they're pretty open for people to come race. Is there a street scene down here where you're doing any of that kind of stuff too, or?
There is, but not really like around here. More like out towards Charlotte.
Yeah. Okay.
There is, so about like 3 hours away. So here, we can go 2 hours and probably hit like 6 or 7 racetracks.
Yeah,
so
that's crazy.
If you want to race Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, you can.
That's crazy. We come from Minnesota where we only have 2-3 options within a couple hours, sort of deal. It might be a little bit more.
Well, we pulled in yesterday where ProWire is. What do they call that? Race City?
Yeah, Mooresville.
And there's like, you go in there and it's all these teams and shops and all in like this community.
Yep.
And we've never seen anything like that before.
It's big out there.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing out there too. I mean, you go 2 hours and you hit 8 different racetracks.
Okay.
Yeah. When did you move down here?
2012. So I
Okay.
came down here for school, Campbell University.
Okay. And you officially moved down here at this point then? Or?
Well, I just never went back after
Okay.
that. So
Okay.
I guess I never officially moved down here. You know?
Yeah.
I just came, I came down here and I never left.
I was gonna say because between so were your internships back in?
I did some internships in Florida, one in
okay.
Hershey, Pennsylvania, and then I went back. I tried to work back home for 6 months, but it's like it really is true that if you do what you love every day, it's not work. So I loved golf, but I didn't love working golf, and it kind of ruined my love for golf.
Yeah.
And I said, well, let me try to ruin drag racing. So I'm gonna make that my job. And
Have you succeeded yet?
No, I've tried like hell. And I mean, there are times you get overwhelmed, a bunch of projects, a bunch of stuff due, deadlines to meet, where I'm just like, man, I'm done. I'm going back to golf. But no, I mean, I don't have to work a day in my life because we do this stuff. And I mean, it's a dream.
Do you see the similarity here, by the way? Both sports, you try to get the lowest number possible.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that kind of works out.
I do correlate golf to drag racing a lot because, but when you practice, you have a team when you're golfing, and your coaches and everything. But when you step up on that tee, it's on you, and when you pull into the beams, it's on you. So I do in the mental aspect of it too. I think they correlate a lot more if you really look at it. So I try to use that to my advantage because my dad, when I'd golf, he'd call me a mental midget, He makes some of those key mental mistakes and it ruins your day, and I try not to. I'm saying this, I went 007 red last night in the semifinals, so my dad would be calling me a mental midget right now.
So where does it progress from there then? You have the one car, you've done quite a bit with it. Where do you go next?
Yeah, so we started hitting the YouTube pretty hard. At this time, I had like 30,000 followers. We got that the other car, the Boosted Rooster. Chris had this is when I kind of linked up with Chris. He had a twin turbo Corvette that was built by RPM, and I met him there. He was a customer. I was doing the marketing stuff, and we kind of clicked. He had a storm recovery company that I started doing some side work for, and yeah, I mean, we just started racing a bunch. And he ended up putting a lift in his tower shop. So they were building cell towers. They got all the cell tower equipment, and they just got a lift. And we're just working on cars. I didn't work on the car much at all. My good friend Ben, who's no longer with us, unfortunately, he was like my right-hand man. He was my mechanic. He was building them, tuning them, doing everything. And we built some crazy cars together. And yeah, so we're doing that. We ended up getting a G body, so like the fleet started to grow, which is great for YouTube, great for content, and people were like loving the cars at the time. And we just kept racing, just doing fun stuff, trying to be as active as possible, and just have really cool videos. 1,000 horsepower turbo G body, doing burnouts on the street, pretty cool. It's gonna get some views, and I kind of viewed everything as what would I want to watch on YouTube? And at the time, there wasn't that many automotive YouTubers. This was pre-Cletus taking off, and it was myself. I don't know if you guys will know these names: Street Speed 717, Guitarmageddon ZL1. Those guys. That's who was like doing the automotive YouTube, and yeah, I mean, we just kept going until we ended up selling the G body and selling the Trans Am, and we got the Black Sheep, which was my first race car. So it was an 87 Grand National, true Grand National. It was already all cut up, and that was my first. I had fiberglass doors and a Lexan window. I'm like, oh, we're really doing it now. And I had a HEMI with a Pro Charger. It was just war slam out. Thing was slow as hell, but it was a race car. And that's what really kicked off the racing. That went from going from like, we have some turbo street car stuff, and now we got a race car. It's on methanol, like it's the real deal. It's got parachutes and all the whole nine.
Okay, I have to ask him. There's always a debate of what's a street car. What do you define as a street car?
So, I mean, like you look at Devin Vanderhoof. Do you guys know who that is?
It sounds familiar.
He's got a twin turbo big block drag and drive car that on radials that goes like bottom sixes. I mean, it's crazy. I consider that a street car. I mean, anything you could actually drive on the street, it's a street car. Now, when it comes to like running the street car classes at the track, I don't think you should be on methanol because you can't. I think it's got to come out the pump. If you get pumpy 85, you're on 93 with like meth injection. That's fine. But I mean, something that you can actually drive around. That's just not like a full blown race car that you just like. Oh, it's got tags. I mean, I run that Corvette over there. It goes. I don't know, I'm about to sell it, so I can't really say, but it's very fast for what it is. Me and my fiance, we go out to eat in it. We go get ice cream. I drive it around. You take it to the track, and it whoops some ass. That to me is a street car. Something you can go out and enjoy and still drive around. These guys that have like 5-gallon fuel cell, they're like, oh yeah, it's a street car. I'm like, come on, dude. And everyone, you got to get in where you fit in. I get that, but don't puppy kick. If you got a race car and it's just slow, just be the slow race car. You can win a lot of races just going A to B, being the slow race car, opposed to being the fast street car guy with a race car. That's kind of how I view it.
One of our favorite answers we got on the show, we had Calvo on the show, and he's like, "Can you valet it at a wedding?"
That's very good. Yeah, if you could do that. If someone else can hop in it and drive it down the street, I think that's a street car. If you got to flip all these switches and buttons and can't
just have a panic attack figuring out someone.
Exactly.
Oh, you took a deep breath like you were going to say something.
That's just me being out of shape and old.
Whether you are new to working on cars or a seasoned shop owner at the top of their game, the High Performance Academy is where all car enthusiasts can go to expand their skill sets. If you want to learn how to build an engine, tune your car, improve your wiring or suspension setups, the HP Academy has the perfect step-by-step course for you. As a friend of the show, they've provided listeners with a special 55% off discount code that you can use risk-free on any course of your choosing. Details are in the description of the show below, or go to the partners page at Minnoxide.com. Go check it out. Let's get back to the show.
No, like we had a guy who hosts Dragon Drives in our neck of the woods, and he's like, does it start?
Yeah.
And it's like, all right, fair enough.
I do like this Trailblazer here too. I saw there was 4 Kirkies in there.
That's badass.
I think that's kind of cool.
Yeah, that was the world's fastest Trailblazer in like the mid 2000s. RPM Motorsports built it. It had like a hog ass nitrous motor in it, and then now it's got a hog ass motor with a turbo and nitrous on it. So that one's a street car. They just put power steering on it. It didn't have power steering, so it's got power. No AC though. Like you don't have to have AC. Like let's not get carried away.
Yeah.
But that thing right there, T-Cam performance motor, probably 2,000 horsepower build.
Okay.
We haven't run it at the track. It's got like the car itself's got like 5,000 miles on it maybe. So
wow.
it is it
does look clean.
It is very clean. It's a badass build. RPM put it together, and we ended up with it 9-inch. I mean, it's got coilovers all around, 400, pulls wheelies, Trailblazer. Something different.
That's cool.
I just saw one come up for sale recently. It was like almost 2,000 horsepower, and I was like, for 40 grand or something crazy like that. I mean, you probably see it on Facebook Marketplace, but
well, I've also
it's
seen
probably that one. I've been trying to sell it for a while.
Is that the one?
Yeah,
Okay.
we don't really. It's a shame. Like I've used some stuff. We have too many cars. I mean, we got so many race cars, and some of them need to be enjoyed. Opposed to just sitting. Now we like to hoard them, but like something like that, that'd be an awesome drag and drive car. If someone I mean, look, it's just so unique. If someone were to take it out there and do drag and drives with it, it'd be awesome. I'm not going to. So sometimes it's one of those things where it's a shame. It's just sitting around.
What would you get rid of it for?
As far like money wise,
yeah.
I think we had it posted up for like 50 grand.
Okay, so it might have been one that I saw.
And it's crazy. The motor, like the motor build in it, is probably like 40 grand.
Yeah,
just for the motor. I mean, it's a badass motor. So it's like you take the motor out and sell it. It's a smoking deal if anyone wants this. I'm not trying to turn this into a sale.
No, that's fine.
That's why I asked too. I'm like, all right, I just tried to sell cars on the show.
Oh, I've mentioned shit that I'm like looking for, and he's gotten messages being like, "Hey, I have one of those for sale."
Yeah,
I got an email once like, "Yeah, man, I got one of these," and it was like a ridiculous price. I'm like, no response.
I get that.
No, like when we were doing one of our BS episodes, right? And we managed to convince our friend. He's like, "Man, if I found a F-150 for under, what did he say, 25 grand or something?
20,
like
I think.
Yeah, a single cab.
Yeah.
He's like, I'll probably pick it up in twin turbo or whatever." He found like a bunch. I think he found one for like 13 or whatever.
Way.
Yeah, dude, like just ridiculous. Then we went to Midnight Performance because we were down at 2K, and yeah, the whole thing just ridiculous. Like,
So did he get it?
he got it. Now he's selling them.
Oh,
And he's probably listening to this, and he's like, stop telling everybody. But so you get it starts expanding a little bit. So what's next? So this is like what time period is this?
This is probably like 2015. It started evolving pretty quick, and
Really?
that right there is when we started doing the giveaways, and that's kind of when had like an infusion of cash flow.
Yeah.
And irresponsibly, I just started buying race cars because who doesn't, right?
Yeah, right.
And like, I don't want to get into numbers, but we were turning some pretty good. Right? I was like the only person doing giveaways at the time.
Yeah, it was like you and Motion Auto TV back then.
Yeah, and like Diesel Brothers.
Yeah.
So no one was really doing it, especially like the high performance automotive modified. Like no one was giving away. They were giving away like a GTR.
Yeah,
No one was giving away like, hey, I got this like S10 with an LS swap and a turbo. Like no one was doing that. So I gave away some shit boxes, but they're badass. You know, like for $20 to get like I had a Turbo Ranger that was a death trap, made like 800 horsepower, and like with a 400 in it. I mean, that was fun. So I started doing that, and then I started like building cars, buying cars, blowing money, and like now to this day, like I still look back. I'm a little bit older. I have zero to show from it, like zero. I was money in, money out. I was buying parts. I was just selling them or giving away because I didn't end up not doing projects. So I had like a lull where I was building some cars, had some bad dealings with, you know, chassis shops, cars not getting built, which kind of like set me back on some stuff. And then you get a project kind of back in shambles and just sell it to get rid of it. So a lot of that was going on in that time frame. And yeah, I mean, there was ups and downs with it, but yeah, once like 2015, 2016, doing the giveaways pretty hard. We were giving away some nice stuff then, and started racing a lot more. We put an LS in the Black Sheep, which is really where we kind of got all like I feel like we got our name out there racing. We set the hydraulic roller world record. Myself and Matt Gross at the time, he was working on cars with me and tuning. Awesome dude. We went out 16 weekends in a row. We won 13 of those and runnered up another 3. So we were pretty dominant, you know, in this local small tire field with the Black Sheep. It was, you know, 427 TKM LS single turbo 98, just simple setup but consistent fast. Ended up going 412 with it at 2,800 pounds in LDR trim and set the hydraulic roller record. And you know, that was, people were watching us then. They knew what we were doing, and we were having a blast racing, winning. And then we started picking up some other cars and got into the small block Fords, got into, you know, the 41X, the billet stuff, and started kind of evolving to like the higher echelon of motors and horsepower.
What do they look like now for motors? I saw one of your videos. You guys are trying to put one in a trailer with a tractor, and they said it was a 98 grand, or was that?
That was probably like when we first got our 481X.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean now I hate to say it, like that one's got a badass small block Ford in it, which you'd love that.
Yeah.
It's a Shelby block 430-inch deal. This one's got a small block Chevy. We just picked this car up. We didn't build it. This is just like a local car to us that badass. It's just front to back, head to toe. It's just a nice car. But a lot of the other stuff, and we got a couple billet HEMIs, billet 41X. I picked up my first billet LS block. We got billet small block Ford. So we've been slowly upgrading. I still got my stock block LS stuff. I love that. You know, so we have all levels, some cast block, some iron block, pretty much everything from, you know, your $10,000 motor to your $120,000 Pro Charge Pro Line HEMI. So literally everything in between.
Wow.
So you kind of don't really, do you lean one way or the other, like Chevy versus Ford? Or it doesn't seem like you do.
I say this all the time. If you want to make big horsepower with a small block, you get a small block Ford. You got to be smarter to build a small block Ford. You got to have more money.
Okay.
If you want good power, it's going to be super simple and reliable. Go with the LS. Okay. And if you want to get real crazy, you build like a spread port small block Chevy like this thing's got, and it's going to take a while. It's going to be hard to get parts. You got to be really smart. It's probably going to be more expensive. And that's like more of the one-off stuff. So that's kind of where I land. Chris got me into the small block Ford stuff. He's a Mustang guy from back in the day. He's a little older than me, so he was out, you know, popping bottles, the soda cans, pulling wheelies on the street. That's his era. So he got me into the small block Ford stuff. I like them all. I'm not partial to one or the other. I like my 41X. Everyone gives me shit about that because everything now is the HEMI. The HEMI is like the pinnacle of horsepower. But I like the 41X. Everyone calls it a big block, and I'll die on my 41X. I love that thing. So everyone's like, "Oh, get rid of that and just put a HEMI in it." I'm like, "No, I'm not giving up on her." So that's kind of where we're at. Big horsepower wise, the HEMI is like the pinnacle. Small block wise, I think the small block Ford is pretty badass if you do it right.
What are your thoughts on Coyote and like what Brett LaSalle is doing and stuff with that?
I think it's badass. I mean, dude, to go that fast is crazy, right?
Yeah.
I just can't get behind it because it don't sound cool.
Yeah.
Like it's the simple stuff, you know.
Yeah.
If it ain't sitting there beating the ground, like the Pro Mod we got, like you pull that thing in gear and you're sitting there on the starting line and the whole car is just shaking. It's popping and banging. It's badass. Like we race because it's fun. It's supposed to be fun, right? This is why everyone does it. So if I can't have fun sitting in the car, if it's just sitting there like a sewing machine, that ain't it for me. I got to have that thing beating the ground.
Yeah.
So, and I work with T-Cam Performance, Kevin Mullins, all my LS stuff. They spec out all my cams, like no tractor cams at Nasty Racing. Everything's got a hit. So, I mean, everything from like our street car NA stuff, to our boosted street car stock block stuff. All of our camshafts, they're just beating the ground, and I love it. You drive the street car. I had twin turbo New Edge. Thing was just rocking the ground. You pull up to the gas station, everyone just stops what they're doing and looks at you. And some of them are mad because it's so loud. And everyone's like, "What motor's in that thing?" And I'm like, "Brother, it's got a turbo." Stuff like that. But it's got to beat the ground. But I think the Coyote stuff, to go that fast with a motor that small, it's insane. Never thought it'd be possible.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny, like when Aaron was on the podcast, it's like, it's just, what kind of world do we live in where, a 5-liter engine's a small engine?
Yeah.
And just, and you see these freaking Honda guys too. It's such a wide range. Is there a car that ever got away from you? You kind of wish you got back?
No, I don't look back. Any of them that are gone, they're gone. There's a couple like that cut apart that I wish I would have left in their form that was like, good, usable. I call it the fun zone, where you can stay in the fun zone, you can go fast, and it's not super expensive, it's not a bunch of work, it's fun. And as soon as you try to go to that next level, you exit the fun zone. So there's a couple cars, especially I got 2 in the shop right now that they were fun, they were low maintenance, they went really fast, but I had that itch to go a little bit faster with it, cut it apart, and I left the fun zone. So
okay, what does it look like for those cars leaving the fun zone? What does that include?
Well, like your Grand National, I heard you follow up right away with it was already cut up. I'm sure you've gotten some hell over that one then.
All those old Grand National guys, they're just mad at me.
Yeah,
They'd be like, "Is that a real Grand National?" I'm like, "Yeah," and they're like, "Oh, shame on you for cutting it up." I'm like, "Buddy, we bought it. It was already a race car.
Yeah.
Like we didn't do the sin. We're just making it fast."
Yeah.
But no, like the Black Sheep is a good one that it exited the fun zone. Had LS single turbo, extremely low maintenance. We were going 300 passes on a motor with no maintenance other than oil change and spark plugs, and I put a HEMI with a blower in it and left the fun zone. Extremely expensive, doesn't really fit that good, but I wanted to put it in there. So that's one where I kind of kicking myself. I should have just left it how it was and just been content and just raced it. But I always gotta be looking for something more is my problem.
Yeah, but then to win 13 races right afterwards, I was assuming it was after you did that, right?
Well, that's when so now
that was when it was in the fun zone.
Yeah.
Oh, okay,
that was pinnacle fun zone. And winning is also a lot more fun too than sitting in the shop working on them.
Yeah.
Well, it's better to be the fastest of the slow guys than the slowest of the fast guys sometimes too.
The landscape changed for the race that we were doing small block boost, so everyone was getting much faster, and we were fast early on and didn't really pick up. So everyone was starting to get faster than us, and the car wasn't competitive. So I was like, gotta put a big motor in it, and I should have just left how it was and just enjoyed the car and kind of been more selective of my races. But you live and learn. So I followed that up by cutting another one up that was really good. So now I finally learned after the second time of doing it.
Okay, so you're kind of figuring out, you're going into more like the pro mod stuff. How do you get faster? How do you get better? What does learning look like? Because this is a whole new world you're learning.
Yeah, so we have the help of Jason Harris from Party Time Racing. So he won the PDRA Points Championship the past 2 years. So he's like, we got great knowledge behind us. So he's teaching us a lot. The big tire versus small tire is completely different. I don't want to say it's easier. I think it's probably easier to go down the racetrack. It's not easier to go fast down the racetrack. And just looking at data, I mean, honestly, I'll pull the data log up. It looks completely different from what I'm used to. And I'll just kind of sit down with him and he'll just explain, hey, this is what we're looking for. This is where it needs to be. This is where it's wrong. And I mean, honestly, getting faster than that, it's just experience and laps. We're the new kids on the block. Guys have been doing it for years and years. I feel like our team has had great success early on with it. And hopefully it's just, there's more to come. But we've had some really good people in our corner helping us out. And try to surround yourself with good, knowledgeable people and learn from them is the best way to go. So that's what we've been doing.
When you're looking at data, what are you looking for?
On the big tire stuff, we're looking at like the G meter, the RPM plot, timing, because it runs a pretty gnarly timing curve, and the drive shaft. So you can kind of base everything off that. If the G meter drops and your drive shaft speed goes up, you're spinning the tire too much. Vice versa, the other way, it'll go into tire shake. So it's kind of the big tire stuff. What I learned is it's a balancing act. You have to know the track, be able to read the track, figure out what tune-up you put in there. We ride an RPM like engine plot really hard. So we pretty much have, before we go up there, we kind of put what we want the RPM to do throughout the run to about like 2 seconds.
Okay.
And you better know what the track's going to like, because if you're off on that, the car's going to shake, the car's not going to go down. So if I was out there on my own, like, this thing would never get down, but we have some good points of reference and kind of like a team that we're teamed up with, so we can share data, and that makes it a whole lot better. So it's different. It's challenging, but it's really fun.
I've always wondered that, like, because this has been going on for so long, right? Like, there's technically already like a secret sauce, right, to how all this goes down. So, like, what gives you the competitive edge? Is it the driver, the chassis, the engine? Is it a combination of whatever? Like, I've always, when you have to follow the same rule set, how does one guy faster than the other at that point?
I think like just trying new things and figuring out what works. I mean, everything's so fast now and so competitive, but I mean, it's to the point where like the chassis, you know, they have a measurement from the mid plate to the center line of the axle. If that moves 2 inches, it changes how the car acts. So it's kind of getting the perfect recipe of what works with each combination. You know, we run the HEMI with the Pro Charger, so the center of gravity is, you know, out front and pretty low, opposed to a screw blower where it's up real high. So the cars act different, but it's just finding that perfect recipe. You know, it's just trial and error really. You just got to keep trying it and trying to improve. And you know, when you test, you need to go and throw. Well, we went out there to test the other day, and we put a tune-up in there. We're like, we don't know if it's going to work, and it went out there, shook the tire so hard it broke a quarter panel. Like, it just broke it off the car, and we're like, okay, it did not like that. So, you know, that's how you have to get faster, just by trying stuff.
Okay.
What about adapting to different rules, right? Because you've been used to certain classes in the past. How's that changed? Is there anything that changed?
Yeah, I mean, it's now like we're hitting the scales. I never used to hit the scales. So running no time stuff, who cares about the weight? So now after every pass, we go and we hit the scales. I mean, the Pro Mod stuff, I mean, they have limits on blower size. There's so many rules. No time, it was like, hey, show up with a 98 millimeter turbo and be on this tire. So we haven't had to go through like tech or a teardown, but I mean, if you go too fast, they can protest you, and they can measure your blower and take stuff off and do all that stuff. So we haven't had to experience it yet, but it's a whole lot different, you know. There's people watching you. You got to make sure you have the right parts on the car. And before, like, we'd show up with like, yeah, it's a 98 millimeter turbo, and right down the racetrack we go, and that was it.
Well, yeah.
When Rowan pulled first in snowmobile racing, they pulled her aside and pulled her spark plugs, checked to make sure we didn't shave the head. They like tore her sled apart and like made sure we weren't cheating and shit.
Yeah, so, that's like that. You know, they say in racing, like, you're not trying unless you're cheating. Well, like their rules are so tight, like there's no room to cheat. Like if you try to cheat, they don't catch you.
Well, the magic is in finding ways to bend the rules sometimes too, right?
Yep.
But that's when you get to like the really crazy high level stuff. So with how long have you been in this like pro mod space now? It's been when did you get the car?
I mean, 2025 really. Like, I mean, February is when we really started kicking it off with running the pro mod stuff. So before then, we talked about it for a little bit because we got the car. And
how'd that conversation start, by the way? Like, we're gonna do it.
Well, Chris convinced me to go to a PDRA race, and we ran that Mustang in a different class called Super Street. So it's 28 slicks, and had a really good time, enjoyed it, and watching the Pro Mod. He's got one of his cars up there. He's like, man, you think you want to run a Pro Mod? And I'm just like, I mean, I'm not going to say no, but deep down I was like, no, I'm a small tire guy. Because there's this like battle between small tires and big tires. And I'm like, now that I've done both, I'm like, I don't see why you guys are arguing. But the small tire guys think the big tire stuff's dumb, and the big tire guys think the small tire stuff's dumb. I think they're both cool. They're both so much different. I mean, so much different.
A factory ECU can get you really far, but if you're trying to get the most out of your car, you have to take your tuning to the next level. Whether you are doing a highly original LS swap or are a glutton for punishment and want to keep your rotary, a Haltech can help you extract top-level performance while keeping your car tolerable to drive. If you go to tunedbysean.com, you can schedule a free consultation to see what is right for you and your build, but you can also go there, save 5% on all Haltech goodies using code Minnoxide, and do it all yourself. That's tunedbysean, SHAWN.com. Let's get you back to the show.
But I mean, he's like, hey, let's run Pro Mod, and ended up getting one, and presented the opportunity, and we're gonna run with it. And we've been working on it, like myself and all my guys, and we thrash on that car, do everything we can to make it as competitive as possible. And I mean, just having a ball with it. So I mean, I wasn't really like, hey, I would really want to run Pro Mod. It was kind of a, hey, I think we should, and it's hot, and that's where everyone is right now. It's the space to be in, and I don't disagree with that at all. So now that I've run it, I don't want to say I like it more than radials, but the racing's better. It's better racing.
Okay.
Speaking of that, I was watching some of the videos. What's that like racing for less than 4 seconds? I mean, that's a lot of shit that you're doing, in 4 seconds time. Like I watched you, it was like boom, 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 pull, shoot. I was like, what just happened?
It's more of a feel thing. I don't understand how some guys go out there and they're like, I'm gonna buy a pro mod and they've never raced before and they go and sit in it and make a pass, and I genuinely don't know how they don't wreck, because a lot of it's feel. I've been fortunate enough to go, I've run every single number from a 620 down to a 360 or 369. I don't want people to think I want a 60 flat, 369, because the little numbers count. So I've run every single number, so I understand like the feel and how the car acts, and going from small tires to big tires, at the end of the day, it's still got 4 wheels and a steering wheel, so it's still a car. They're going to act similarly in some ways. If the car goes right, you feel it going right. So it's a feel thing. There is a lot going on, but it's crazy. You kind of sit back in the car and you click the button and you could feel the car go right and left, and you're steering. If you got to steer too much and hey, I got to abort, and it's kind of pretty much just like point and shoot. If you can keep it in the center, you're good to go. But if it starts getting way far off, you get to a point where you're like, I should probably lift before, you get far enough out, that thing's going to turn on you. So it's more of a feel. And like for me, when I'm driving, I look at the tree, I click the button, you get past, 60, 100 foot, you're normally riding pretty good, put my hand up on the parachute and I'm looking for that cone. Once I find that cone, I know where I'm driving to and throw the chute right before you get to it, and that's it. So kind of get into a routine of what to feel and what to expect. But for someone that's never done it, like I couldn't imagine going from 550s to going 370s. It's a lot, but going 4.0s and 390s and 380s, it was a slow progression to it. So I feel like I worked my way up, but it's fast. I mean, it's fun. It's a lot of fun, honestly. I wish it could be longer,
Right. That's.
Oh, have we heard that one before?
Well, that's one of the reasons I did some drag racing. I just couldn't. So I do road course stuff, and it's 30-minute sessions. Let it cool down for 15 minutes. Go back out, do it again.
Yep.
I did it, and I stood in line forever. I raced for 10, 12 seconds, and then I got back in line again. I was like, I don't really like this.
Yeah.
So
I like the competitiveness of it.
Yeah.
And that to me is what I like is, you go up there and you got to be good on the tree. You got to have the tune-up right. I mean, people at this level, on the radial stuff or the big tire stuff, it don't matter. Like, you got to have all your shit together to make a good pass. So when you put one together, it's a big team effort. You cut a good light, it's rewarding, and you go and you beat that guy next to you, some close side-by-side racing. I mean, dude, there's nothing like it. Like when we were running up in Virginia, you click the button, and I'm out. I knew I treat him. I'm out on the guy, and I'm just like driving and looking. I'm like, I hope you don't come around me. And then you get to the stripe, and the wind light comes on. Like, it's an awesome feeling.
I will say I have way more fun in the pits at a drag race event, though, because there is some downtime. So, like, we're walking from camp to camp, having beers, hanging out.
Yep.
Shitting.
At 9 a.m.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's a lot of fun.
Actually, no, it wasn't that. You remember Speed Summit? We showed up at their camp at like 8:30, and they're all like drinking Heinekens.
Oh, yeah.
That's fucking crazy. So, okay, how did you go about building your team?
So, well, that's a crazy question. Never really thought. So, I mean, we're all.
You just pick up guys at Home Depot. It's like, all right, come on.
No. So, I have a storm recovery business.
Yeah.
All the guys that are at the shop, they're all local to us. Obviously, they live around here. Majority of them are. I mean, our ages. I'm 31. The oldest guy really on our crew is like 34, and the youngest is 25. So, for what we do, I think it's a pretty young team. We all do storm work together. They all run crews for me. They're all like my leads. And we do the storm work stuff. Whenever there's not storms, we're racing. So it's not really a full-time job doing the storm work stuff, but I guess it is a full-time job. It's what we do full-time, but we don't have work every day.
Well, it's probably pretty intense when it's going on too, though.
Yeah,
right?
oh yeah. When it's happening, we drop everything and we go wherever. I mean, hey, they say go up to Connecticut, we're in Connecticut. Go out to Louisiana, we're in Louisiana. So and they do a great job, and we have a big network of guys that all work really hard, and we do an absolutely awesome job. And fortunate to know all these guys. And I use my YouTube to market my storm business, and it's been awesome. Most of the guys, say 90% of the guys have an automotive background or inspired by racing. So like-minded guys, hardworking guys, kind of like a family. And I mean, hell, we have up to 200 guys working at a time. So the guys here on my team, they manage the crews in the field, and then when there's not storms, we're here at the shop working on cars, going racing, and it really is like a family. I mean, like you spend all day with these guys, and it really is like we're over there fighting with one another, yelling at one another, eating dinner together, eating breakfast together. I mean, it's not just a 9 to 5. It really is a family. And then when we leave, we'll go home and, you know, if we have time, hop on Xbox and we're playing Xbox together. You know,
Okay.
it's
What's your choice of game right now?
I hate to say it. I don't hate to say it. Farm sim.
Oh, okay.
Farm's like it's just some simple stuff. You know,
Yeah.
we go plow a field. Like I mean, farm sim is what it is. We got a little farm going.
Just
and
chill for a little bit, talk some shit, you know?
yeah, I'm like, hey, can you come pick up my grain for me? Like it's so funny because in the game it's just like we're at work. You know, so
Yeah.
but that's our game of choice.
Dude, did you do Farmville 15 years ago at all?
I did.
Dude, I remember like you'd have a friend like, oh, you're like you get the notification, oh, your friend picked your farm.
Yep.
That's some happy
I
memories.
built my son a sim so he could like do Forza and stuff. It's just a little, you know, Logitech setup or whatever. And I come downstairs and he's driving a tractor and a truck around town and like picking up trailers and stuff. I was like, dude, I thought you were gonna go racing with this thing.
Yep. Well, that's us. We're on farm sim. So
Yeah, that's funny.
How about so the guys that are with you? Are they also kind of like coming from the same space as you? Like they're learning on their own, or do they come from like shop backgrounds or a mix?
I'd say like a mix, pretty much. So Logan, who's been with me from the start, he's just been around racing forever. He really has. He's crewed for a bunch of people. He knows how to do a little bit of everything, and he's just a solid dude. Mason, he's our youngest. He's 25. He came from storm work. Lived up in Indiana, and met him at a storm in Connecticut. I called him. I'm like, hey man, quit your job. Which I don't tell a lot of people to do, so don't do that. I was like, quit your job. He's working at a Kubota dealership. So diesel mechanical background, which is like great because we had an issue, you know, with our generator at the track last night, and he's working on it, fixing it. He quit his job, worked up in Connecticut with us, and then came down here, hung out down here for a week. I got him a cam swap to do, did that for a customer, and then moved down here. And so, I mean, we have guys from all over the place that, you know, have a mechanical background a little bit. No one really formally trained. I mean, Mason, in the past 2 years, I watched him teach himself how to weld, and now he's a great welder. So I think it's all kind of that like-minded, where we all want to be able to have a skill that's good and work really hard. And we work well together. You know, we go up there, we do the same thing every time at the racetrack. Everyone has like a job to do, and no one says, hey, go do your job. Everyone just knows to do it and really works well as a team. So in the shop, we built some crazy cars, like some fun stuff, and some high-end stuff, some nice stuff. And you wouldn't think that, you know, a group of guys like us with no formal background are going to be building turbo kits with billet motors and these nice cars. And
That's intense.
yeah, no, we've got some crazy builds. I mean, I self-taught, or I taught myself how to weld titanium. So I built a complete titanium exhaust for this twin turbo Camaro we're doing, and just stuff like that. I mean, you just got to dive in and try it and figure it out. And you know, I film everything, so I have YouTube videos of me sucking ass welding and trying to figure it out. But that's the reality of it, you know.
Yeah.
This is life. We show our failures, and everyone has them, and kind of go from there.
Do you have any big expensive mistakes that you've made over the years?
Yeah, I mean, I've definitely like hurt some motors and stuff on the learning curve.
Yeah.
So that's part of it. I think you gotta.
Yeah.
Someone can tell me not to do it. I have to do it and mess it up myself to really
Yeah.
feel it, you know, to let it sink in. So I'm trying to get better about that. I'm hard-headed. We're all hard-headed. That's just, I think we wouldn't be here doing what we're doing unless we were. But yeah, I mean, there's some definite expensive ones. You know, I got hurt the motor in our 481X, our twin turbo Camaro, and I was overruns on the lifters, and I knew I shouldn't have been. I was like, oh yeah, it'll be fine. Yeah, it's not fine. So that's one of those expensive lessons, you know.
Yeah. Do any of your shop guys, do they have cars too, or do they?
Yeah. Logan, who he's just finishing up he's got twin turbo F body Camaro with a 408 LS. Mason's got a little nitrous F body third gen that he's working on. CJ is another one of our crew guys. He's got two actually. He makes too much money if you can't tell, 2 race cars. He's got 2 RX-7s that are LS turbo drag cars, and then Dave, who is the adult of the group, he just sold me his race car and bought a boat. So, same thing. He's
Gotta have a boat guy, right?
blowing money somewhere else.
Yeah, right. I was like, they're both expensive mistakes. So
Yep. Yep. And then Tyler, who's another one of our guys, he just bought a new truck. So, whether it's a race car, a boat, or a new truck, they all got something that they're working on. But yeah, I mean, we go to the racetrack, it's we're taking either one of these cars or one of their cars to the track.
Out of all the cars you got here, which one's your favorite to drive?
If he says the 450, I'm gonna lose it.
Yeah.
I do like the 450. So I'll break it down. We'll go on the street versus race
there you
car.
go.
So my favorite car to drive on the street, I got a 97 Cobra with a non-intercooled Kenny Bell blower. So it's the 4-valve, and it makes like 400 horsepower. The thing is just ragged, paint's falling off of it. But I love that thing. It's badass. I feel like I'm in 2004, just ready to tear someone's head off at a stoplight. That's my favorite car to drive on the street. My favorite race car. It's probably my 3rd gen Camaro Slick Rick, and it's just been fun. I haven't conquered it yet, so I'm gonna battle with it. We've been having transmission issues, converter issues, motor issues for literally the past 2 years. Mm-hmm. We've had some really good passes, gone really fast with it, but haven't got it sorted out. So I like that one the most because it's a challenge, and I know it's got a lot more left in the tank, and we haven't gone as fast as we could with it. So it's a battle, So I like the challenge. So that's why I love it.
So you are a Ford guy. Is it still got the 4.6 in it, the Cobra?
Yeah. So my boy CJ slung a rod out of it. I put a blower on it. I didn't. My buddy Caleb at F and Rowdy shop down the road. I won't work on the Ford stuff though.
Oh, okay.
So I won't. Like the race car stuff, I will. But
that's got overhead cams too.
Yeah. I'm not messing with it. So they put headers and a blower on it, and I got it back. I drove around for 2 days. It was tuned up to like 480 horsepower, which is above recommended. Another expensive mistake.
Yeah.
Like, don't do it. I was like, don't put the bigger. The smaller crank pulley on it, put the big one. We want to make all the boosts. He's like, I don't recommend it. I'm like, do it. So they did it, put a new set of tires on it, and wheels and tires. And I told CJ, I was like, just drive around the block so I could see what it looks like with the new wheels and tires. He pulls around back. I'm like, do a burnout, kicks a rod out of it. So now, I just got it back like 2 weeks ago. It's got a built motor, 4.6.
Nice.
The T45, it's lowered, the exhaust drags the ground, paint's falling off of it, but it's my baby.
I did see he was like, what are you doing? I was eyeing up the Cobra R replicas you got laying out back there too. I
hate to say it, I think I am turning into a Ford guy.
Yeah?
He's a closet Ford guy.
Yeah.
I got another SN95. It's called the Drop Top Dream. It was in a magazine. I found it on Facebook Marketplace for $3,000 because it didn't run and the fuel line fell off of it. And it's got a built 5.0 with a Pro Charger. It's got the style bar. It's convertible. I'm a Ford guy now, I guess. Hot off the press.
Yeah.
He's admitting it on camera.
Yeah,
by the way.
he's even calling it a style bar. He knows his Ford shit too.
It's got the side pipes. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. I guess I'm into that, which no one likes, like the late 90s, early 2000 muscle cars.
Yeah.
That's my thing.
No, that's where I lay too.
I used to be the biggest hater, and I started hanging around Dan because I couldn't stand Fox bodies, and then what's the generation after that? Like that's a 95.
The SN95. The SN95 was like everybody hated them. They were like the ugly stepchild of the Fox body.
I own 3 right now. I hate to say it because they are ugly. I own 3 of them.
Yeah, they grew on me. Like I think it's, I don't know, maybe things get better with age.
It really grew on me for being around this cycle. That thing's freaking cool. Driving by.
Yeah, welcome to Benson.
Yeah.
Welcome to Benson.
Yeah.
This is my first time actually being in North Carolina, right? Mm-hmm. Because I've done Tail to Dragon, but that doesn't really count. You go 2 miles across the border, it doesn't really count. So it's been a trip. It's just different, man. Like we what was the last trip we did? We went to 2K. In Texas, it's just big, all sprawled out, and it's just flat everywhere. And then over here, it's just hills everywhere. It's just nice. Yeah.
I told him this morning we went to the gas station. They had boiled peanuts. I was like, we went way too far south, dude.
Oh no, we'll take you to Pat's Gas and Grill for lunch down the road. Yeah. This is small town USA, 100%.
Yeah.
I mean, they have like the park where you'll go by on a Friday, Saturday, and they're throwing an event there. They get a little stage, people singing on the stage. I mean. Mm-hmm. Small town USA. I love it here because we're 30 minutes away from Raleigh, the capital of North Carolina. So we kind of be out here kind of in the sticks, do our own stuff, hop around town to town, 10-minute drives, but you want to go to the city, you're 30 minutes away.
Okay.
So that's why I landed here. And we're right at 40 and 95. So if we're going racing, you got to get on a highway with the rig. Mm-hmm. It's right here, so strategically placed in Benson, North Carolina.
How's it compared to Pennsylvania?
Pennsylvania...
Were you in like
I'd
a
say-
small town there too?
Yeah,
or-
I'd say it's kind of similar. Like honestly, maybe that's why I like it. Yeah, like where I grew up was the same. Racetrack's not as close, so
Yeah.
you're racetrack friendly here, but very similar vibe to Pennsylvania. I think the people here are probably a little bit nicer, a little bit more, you know, calm and
It's not
slow
cold
paced.
half the year.
There is that,
Yeah.
yeah, there is that. We get like our 1 day of snow and it's gone 70 the next day. So it's. I mean, they'll race around here year round. I mean, it's really good. If you like motorsports, it's a good place to be. And I like where we're at. We're an hour and a half from the beach, 2 hours away from the mountains. You got it all here.
Yeah.
And boiled peanuts.
Yeah.
Peanuts is crazy.
No thanks. My mom's from Georgia and she loves that shit. I'm like, yeah, no thank you.
So speaking of motorsports, then are you involved in anything else really, or do you pay attention to anything else?
No, I mean, I watch like Formula One. I watch NASCAR. We got a sim rig, so like I'll go
Okay.
on iRacing and do that. I think it's fun.
Now I have to ask you, what kind of sim rig you got?
It's a Race Tech, so they're one of my sponsors. So
Okay.
it's got a Race Tech seat and just a Logitech wheel. It's kind of like basic. It's got
Yeah.
4 screens. I'm not a computer guy, so
Yeah.
the younger folks set it up for me, and we'll do some iRacing, some stuff like that. So I mean, I watch motorsports. I like the competitiveness of it. But do I do anything else? No, I'm fully invested in this. I like some of the trucks. I got a bunch of F450s with wheels and tires. I got one that's like a single wheel conversion. So
Okay.
I like that stuff a little bit, but I kind of just stick to what I know. Stay in my lane.
Any old school stuff, OBS trucks, anything like that, or?
I'm looking right now for like a 7.3,
Okay.
which I had. I was into the Dodges. Not really a big diesel guy, but I had like a 700 horsepower Dodge. Manual dually, which was kind of fun. Our shop truck, big auction guy, got it from auction, $2,000.
Okay.
I got a turbo to compound it. Just haven't had time yet, so stuff like that. But no, a classic car stuff, not really into it. Like I said before, I mean, you give me a damn '95 Mustang, I'm fired up.
That is
But,
classic, by the way. It's 30 years old.
It
dude.
is,
Yeah.
but I mean, compared to like some of the
Yeah,
good-looking
yeah.
classics, no, I don't know if you're an SN95 guy, but I mean, so like you go back, like the Fox bodies look great, or like the first-gen Camaros. I mean, they're awesome. I just couldn't see myself driving around in one of those. I don't think I'm old enough yet.
No, I've got several Fox bodies and some SN95s, but yeah, it's that old stuff.
Several's an understatement.
Yeah, that old stuff was hot, maybe 10, 15 years ago, but that's starting to die off now too.
Yeah.
Those guys are all old as hell now, and it's
exactly.
my dad would be what you would call a boomer, and they're moving on to other. He drives a Lincoln Navigator now,
Yeah.
and so it's
It
yeah.
phased out.
Yeah, so now I think the 80s, 90s stuff is hot because that's
Yeah.
what some of us other older guys are.
I call
into.
it those are the cars that I was sitting in the back seat looking out the window at.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the car that made noise when my parents were taking me to school. I'm like, oh, what's that? So
Mm-hmm.
I think that's my love for them. Is I always thought they were cool back in the day.
I like it down here because if the people are daily driving stuff around here like that, at home that stuff's all rotted away, or it's in a collection, or it's in gets put away and comes out in the summertime. Here it's like I can see like a 93 Ranger and it's clean as hell, and I'm like, damn it, I wish we had that shit back home.
Yeah, no, North Carolina, South Carolina, I mean, the stuff just lives forever.
Yeah.
I mean, it really does. There's no rust unless you're out by the beach, and that's far and few between. So
Yep.
we're lucky. We got a lot of Facebook Marketplace is dangerous around
Yeah,
here.
oh, I know.
Yeah,
I've already
it
been
is.
on it.
Every time we travel, we're just looking like, oh, Dan. Dude, I'm his worst friend. I'm like, Dan, you got to get this. You got to get that.
I looked at your wheels and I thought for a minute, like, how can I get those home? If I ask him if he's for
Yeah, when we
sale.
were waiting for you, he was literally like, I was like, Dan, we buying something?
Well, do you guys go? Have you guys ever been to Mustang Week down in Myrtle Beach?
Yes,
No,
I went one year and I flew down because I didn't want to haul my cars down. It's like a 20-hour drive.
Yep.
And I regretted everything. I was walking around going, God, I wish I had my car. I wish I had my car.
Yeah.
It was, but it was a good time.
Yeah. I'm not I guess I am a Mustang guy. I
Yeah,
can't
here
say
we
I'm
go.
not.
We're gonna-
I'm a Mustang guy. So I went
He's a
to
closet
Mustang Week.
Mustang guy.
Maybe I don't know. It was last year, probably the year before with LS Swap Mustang. And that was my first time at Mustang Week, and I was like, dude, this thing's badass. Everyone hated
Yeah.
me because I had a twin turbo LS.
Yeah.
I'm that guy. I had the bow tie on the grill and everything, but dude, it was a blast. So now it's like we're prepping for Mustang Week. We just got another 98 Cobra, which to me are like they're just. The 4.6 is a shitty motor, the
Yeah.
4-valve, but we love them, So it's like they don't make any power, they don't even sound that great, but 300 horsepower with a 410 gear, you're gonna have some fun.
Yeah.
And so Chris got him a silver one. I gifted him a silver SN95, so I don't have to go to Mustang Week by myself.
Coyote's like a direct bolt-in for a swap. And
The
those
sound
things.
though.
Yeah.
The sound. I'll take a 4.6.
You can get a ghost cam too.
I can't do that. I can't do that.
The whole, what is it? They call it a bass boat in Detroit.
Is that what they call it?
Well, that's what Joanna called it. She's like, yeah, it just sounds like a bass boat.
Oh,
I mean, not wrong. I just can't get behind the sound of a coyote.
Yeah.
Nothing against my coyote people out there. It's just
Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong. Like, for example, like Mike Johnson when he's at Power Cruise, like I have to go, it's rough.
compared to a push rod motor that's just beating the ground. It's just
yeah.
you know.
There is some. He said we rode in a GT40 yesterday, and
Oh
it's
my
a
God.
427, and he fires it up, and it's just violent, and the whole car's shaking.
It's literally shaking. Like I'm like, it came off the lift, and I'm like, Dan, I can't close this door. I think it's gonna fall apart. Like, it's like you gotta slam it. I'm like, should I?
Yeah.
Just raw American horsepower.
Yeah.
Dude, yeah, dude, something about Ford. Like I remember my first time driving like a Roush Mustang, and I was like, dude, this thing is like what was it, S197 or whatever, and I was making like 560 wheel, money shifted. It was great. Yeah, the owner was very happy with me, but yeah, no, it was there's something about it. So okay, we officially have converted him to a Ford guy.
I'm gonna be eating my words for a while now.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of like imagine like you having like LS parents, right? You know, straight parents. Then they're like, oh,
Well, I mean, the thing
we accept you, honey.
we were LS nasty before we were nasty racing, and
Right.
now I'm saying I'm a Ford guy. I mean,
Yeah, what do you got to name it?
I mean, just I can't go. I did have a shirt that said small block Ford nasty, so I mean, I was. There were signs along the way, right?
Yeah.
He's talking funny with a little extra flair.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a mouthful. We got to figure something out on
Yeah.
that. Well, isn't your Pro Mod also like a Mustang body
It
too?
is a Mustang. It's
Yeah.
a '67 Mustang. Yeah, I can't escape it. I don't know what it is.
Yeah,
I don't know what it is.
Okay. So, what are you most proud of in what you've done?
We've done a lot. I think that what I'm most proud of, I just want to build a community, right? Like my subscribers. I got like almost 150,000 subscribers. I just want to do good with my channel, you know, provide something that people can watch and be like, oh, hey, I either learned something, I found it was entertaining, it got me into motorsports, like do something positive with it. That's like my goal. So when I get someone that comes up to me at the racetrack and they say, hey man, I watch your videos, I love it, you know, hey, I came to this event because I knew you were coming. Like to me, that's what I'm most proud of, to like see anything positive, like promoting motorsports. Like my friend group now, like I would have not know any of them if I just played golf, right? Like the amount of people, the places it's taken me, the motorsports community, it's amazing. And I just want to help people get involved with that, you know, branch out. So I think what I'm most proud of is building something with my team and my guys that can do something positive.
What a crazy two different worlds. Like if you would have gone that route, you would have been hanging out in, I'm sure, different circles than you are now.
Yeah, I mean, dude, it's crazy. Like I say all the time, you know, good or bad, every single decision you made in life gets you to where you are right now.
Yeah.
So, and I don't regret any of them. I mean, every single thing I've done got me here. We got a great group of friends, hardworking dudes, and trying to inspire people. I mean, I'm not saying that what we do is great. That's why it should inspire you. I'm saying, look at what this has done for us, you know, going out and meeting new people, opportunities, let that inspire you, you know, and it's just, it's crazy.
Can I ask you about the giveaway stuff? Because now it's like, my God, there's so many people.
There's literally
doing
companies
it.
that run it for you now.
Yeah.
So I got out. Like I have one car over there that I'm prepping to do a giveaway with. I was doing like 4 a year, and I did one last year, and the landscape has changed quite a bit.
Okay. Is it harder, you think?
Most definitely, 100%.
Because there's just so many. Like I entered like 5 a few months ago, and I'm
Well,
like,
most of it, I don't like. You know, when I was younger, I go to Kohl's or whatever to get. I don't have to buy clothes anymore because everything I buy involves a giveaway now.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, well, I'll grab a shirt.
And it ruined it for like, so my apparel brand, it's the website still lsnasty.com.
Yeah.
But I have Nasty Co, which is like my lifestyle brand. Like I call it workwear. And then I have Nasty Racing are like my 2 brands up on the website. I really can't have sales on the website anymore because why would someone buy a t-shirt from me just like randomly if they can get entered to win a car buying it from someone else?
Yeah.
So it really changed like the landscape of just like the e-commerce stuff, where it's like if you want to sell stuff, you have to have some sort of reward that they could win. So I gave away I think like 12 cars or trucks, and they were I didn't lose on any but the last one. I had a partner in, and they didn't do they didn't hold their end of the bargain. So it was more like a break even loss, just a little bit in the big picture. But I mean, in its peak, I mean, extremely profitable. I was able to grow with a local company. They're called the Trophy Case. Now they're Merch Unlimited. They do merchandise for Street Racing Channel and Murder Nova and a bunch of the big guys now.
Okay.
When I met with them, they did embroidery for Food Lion, which is like a local like food market.
Yep.
So I did my first giveaway with them, and we grew together from doing, you know, $50,000 in sales in a month to $300,000, $400,000 in sales in a month. So we were able to grow, and they learned the giveaway stuff with me, and yeah, it was great. I mean, it was awesome. It was cool to see your merchandise out there and then give away the card to someone. Like they buy, you know, 2 hats and a t-shirt and they win. I've done all my stuff through American Sweepstakes, which is a company that like they do all the bonding and insurance and everything like that.
Okay.
Pretty much just write them a check, and they handle everything and they tell you who the winner is. But yeah, I mean, it was badass, and then it got just so overly saturated. Like everyone was doing a giveaway, and then it got to the point where you just had to spend, you know, so much money in marketing just to compete with the other guys that are spending that much. That to me, it was just like, I don't have to live and die by the giveaways. So I rather, instead of, you know, trying to cut my price on shirts to increase my profit margin or do something to cheapen my product to make more money or to be more sustainable, I just won't do it.
Yeah.
So.
What's that like getting the winner in? We've just never talked to anybody who's done it before, so that whole thing.
I did a solo episode without you, remember?
Did you talk to somebody that did giveaways?
Yeah, Motion Auto TV. He was doing that in like early 2010s.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was before you existed in my life.
Oh.
Yeah, I was lonely and scared because my old co-host left me for California, and I know you're listening, Sean. And then I was like, all right, I'm gonna do 10 by myself. And
Well, you're giving away like race cars and stuff too. So what's that? You ever hand the keys over to somebody and be like, "Oh man, this may not go well," or
what's the highest power car you've given away?
Like probably 1,200. I've given away a couple 1,200 horsepower cars, and that's always a concern. Is like kind of get to that like tipping point. Like so, when I got that Corvette there, it made like 1,000 wheel, but it runs much stronger than it. I was like, man, this would be a badass giveaway car, and I'm just like, it's too much to give away.
Yeah.
Because some people, you know, I don't do the car plus 30 grand cash, car plus 50 grand cash. Like, listen, I'm real. Like, if I win a car, it's great. Like, if I were to win something now, I'd probably turn around and sell it, right? Unless it's like your dream car. A car, no matter what level it is, there is some sort of upkeep, and you can sell it and get something that's more in your wheelhouse. Unfortunately, a couple of my cars I gave away, they got taken apart and weren't able to be put back together. And then they'd start trading hands quick. And it's just like, I mean, it's your car at that point in time, so do whatever you want with it. It's yours 100%. I don't judge you for it. But if it were me that were getting it, I would try to be a little more strategic with it, because a car running's worth a whole lot more than a car tore apart.
Yeah.
And there's also the side of like, hey, like I gave away a LS Swap Colorado with a single turbo. We built it all in-house, 5-speed manual, made 700 horsepower. Absolute ripper. I mean, the thing was dangerous. It was one of the ones I was worried about giving away. I had it for 6 months. I drove it everywhere on pump gas and never had any issues with it. And then, you know, a few months later after giving it away, the motor blew up. I mean, there's some stuff that it's just, you kind of have to have some, I guess, general knowledge. That's the risk of giving away a heavily modified car.
Right.
They're not for everybody. It's not like a normal car where you hop in and turn the key and just rip on it, you know. And that's just, it's tough to explain that to some people. And some stuff you can't learn without experiencing it, you know. So there's the ups and downs of that. But I mean, giving away a car to someone, it's like nerve-wracking a little bit, because especially when we modify them as much, you get attached to them a little bit. So you're like, all right, take care of her. Good luck. If you need anything, call. And I tell everybody, I say, hey, you're part of the Nasty Racing family. If you need something, call me. And I think a lot of people don't want to bug me. But I mean, that's what I'm here for. If you have a problem with it, call me. If there's parts I can get you, call me. If there's something wrong with it, call me. We'll get it right. And we've given away turbo C5 Corvette, turbo LS Swap Ranger, nitrous Trailblazer, nitrous New Edge Mustang, turbo SN95, turbo G-body. I mean, just a bunch of crazy stuff. And some of them the owners still have, and they're at the track racing them, doing burnouts, which is awesome to see. When I get the text on my phone of a picture of the car going through the traps, I'm like, hell yeah, they're still out there enjoying it. And some of them I see on TikTok getting sold to someone else. I mean, it's once it's theirs, you know.
Right.
You hope they have a good life with it.
Well, that's scary too, right? Like Dan was saying, is like you give the keys to someone, like, oh, this is rough. Like we've had a number of like high horsepower shops come on the show, and they're like, I don't know about this guy. Look at 2K, how many guys are crashing, right? Sorry, Texas 2K. I forget we're on the Florida side right now, but it's like, you know, some guys are literally like getting their first 1,400 horse car, they're like running it. It's like it's crazy.
Yeah, no, I mean, there's definitely like some stuff where it's like you kind of got to warn them, and you don't really know. I say like these high horsepower cars, they're like, it's like petting a snake, right? It's cool, but that thing can jump up and bite you in a second. Yeah. So you got to be like on edge. I don't really mess around on the street too much anymore, just because it's like, to me, it's not worth it.
The risk to reward.
Yes. If I want to make a rip, like I might, you know, be on the highway and just give it a little rip, but like going on these back roads hauling ass. That we got a sheepy built Lambo back there, makes like 2,000 horsepower.
Oh, the Lambo's also sheepy?
Yep.
Okay, I saw the R8.
Absolutely terrifying. Chris gave me riding it on like 1,400 horsepower, and I was like screaming like a girl because like we're on a back road and you hit it and that thing goes so fast, so quick that if you end up in the grass, you're not just going to stop in the grass. You're going to be in the next field over. Yeah. You know, so I mean, it's just it's not for everybody. I think some people can enjoy it, but there's like my recommendation is if you want a high horsepower car, work your way up. You know, get the 600 horsepower car, then the 700, then the 800, then the 900 and the 1,000. Because if you go right from your 426 horsepower 5th gen to 1,000 horsepower 5th gen, there's a good chance
it's
you won't
a
wreck
very
it.
different story. Like our friend who I mentioned earlier, like it's like he had what was it, 1,100 horse ZR1, like a C6 ZR1. And that thing is bad, but I'm like sitting here thinking like I could never drive that. Like even a stock one, I'd be like, yeah, maybe not. Sorry, you reminded me of the scene. It's like one moment we were looking at the scenery, and the next moment we were a part of the scenery.
Dude, it happens like that.
Well, the 60, and I'm not sure if you. What are your thoughts on the whole draggy thing? Like the 60 to 130 stuff.
I think it's cool. It's cool data. I don't know what a fast 60 to 130 is. I can tell you the tickets at the track. That's all I know. Is like how fast you get to 330. That's a bad motherfucker. You know, I can tell you that.
Draggy stuff, track times are different too than street times, right? Like so, like I think the fastest right now is I think UGR at like 231 or something like that, like which is ridiculous. But like, why was I bringing that up? Oh yeah, like in that car, like that it just punches, like cause that's probably all-wheel drive too, right?
Yeah, I told him that is what the Pro Mod feels like. So like when the Pro Mod 60 foot, you know, a good 60 foot is like a 930 60 foot. Like if we're really getting after, we want to go 928 to the 60 foot. Okay. So I mean, sub 1 second 60 foot. That's getting after it. And then they run pretty good to the 330, like a 245 to the middle of the racetrack's pretty good. That sucker on the street feels like the Pro Mod.
Really?
Being honest with you, is it as fast? Probably not. I'm in the passenger seat, so I think it feels a little bit faster.
Yeah, it does that too, right?
That sucker is no joke.
And you don't have to disclose this on camera, but like, what's it making for power wise? Any idea?
I think it's like 2,000. It's a built motor, twin turbo, air to water. I mean, it's pretty stout.
So that's probably like a high 2, low 3, 60 to 130 on that then, roughly. That's just like what the Huracans are. Just you typically few tenths faster.
Yeah, I think it's on like slicks on all 4 corners. It's just I don't know that.
It's a nasty looking car.
It's badass. Yeah. It sounds mean.
Oh, dude, something about a twin turbo V10, man.
Yep.
Dude.
No, that thing's stout. This one here,
it's an Alpha
from my buddy.
build.
Yeah, this one's upgraded turbos. I don't know, makes like 1,700 horsepower. Okay. So I don't drive any of this stuff. This stuff's out of my price range. Yeah. So if I tear it up, I ain't fixing it.
Well, it's a different ball game, right? It's like a different type of fixing up, right?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, by like tens of thousands of dollars different.
And I just don't know. Like I'm a big stay in my lane kind of guy. Like I know what I know, and I'm gonna be honest with you. If I don't know it, I'm gonna be like, can't help you there. You know, like I specialize in what I specialize in, and I try to be the best at it, and that's it.
What was one of the hardest things for you to learn when you were getting into this?
I think probably like welding.
Okay.
Like honestly, because it's not so much like, did I know how to weld? Yes, but some of the stuff that you have to do is I'd always like, oh, so-and-so is going to come to the shop and weld this up for me and be waiting on them. And finally you just got to a point where you're like, no, I'm just going to learn how to do it. And the welding thing, I mean, it's a great skill to have. I try to tell everybody, just learn how to weld just so if you ever have to, you know how to do it. But yeah, I mean, it's challenging, it's intimidating, and you're just going to mess some shit up. And I've messed up a lot of stuff. You know, when I was welding bungs on stuff when I got started, I was buying 3 or 4 at a time because I'd weld the first one on and cut it off because I messed it up. You know, that's how it is. But yeah, I mean, welding is intimidating. At least for me it was, but rewarding once you get it figured out. So Yeah, I'd say that's my one that was.
Do you recommend somebody starts with like MIG or just go right into TIG stuff? Or
I learned TIG welding first.
Okay.
I think once you get the concept,
Right.
When I first started, it was so challenging. I couldn't use the filler rod, right? So I'd just fuse stuff together and I'd be like, how do these guys put the filler rod in? You know, like that's challenging.
I got to use both hands?
You're working your foot and,
Oh, yeah.
and so and I mean, yeah, it was challenging. So now I got it down. I mean, aluminum, titanium, stainless, chromoly, you name it, we can weld it. But yeah, I mean, I recommend TIG welding. Like, I use AHP welders. Amazon sells them. They're compared to like my first welder was a Miller. It was like $3,000 or $4,000. I got rid of that. I got like 4 of these AHP welders, a prime weld. I mean, they're $1,000, $1,200, $700. I mean, they got so many different ones out there, and for what it costs, like for you to go to a shop and have them weld something up. Like I tell people, like, hey, I want to put a turbo on my car. I'm like, well, go get a welder for $700 and weld you one. Get a bunch of scrap metal, watch some YouTube videos, do it, and you'll put yourself a turbo kit together. I mean, it's the only way to do it yourself. And the guy down the road charged you $10,000 to do it. You could be in $2,000 and have it done yourself.
If you want to learn more about fabrication and design but don't know where to start, our partners at the High Performance Academy can get you going. With over 100 videos relating to motorsport fabrication, TIG welding, and 3D design, it's the perfect place to expand your skill sets. Listeners of the show get a huge 55% off discount, so go ahead and use the link in the description to get you started today. Let's get back to the show.
Well, that's such a big thing too, right? Because like you would not be able to do what you do, at least not as easily, if you didn't have the capability to do it yourself.
100%.
I mean, what would it cost for you to go do, you know, like the pro mod stuff, or I guess any of the stuff that you've done? You know, if you weren't able to.
I like to think I specialize in building turbo kits. So we'll get a car, we'll put a motor in there, I'll build the turbo kit for it. I'll be in, $2,000 to $3,000 of material, and I can build a turbo kit start to finish if I have nothing else going on in 4 or 5 days.
Okay.
You take that somewhere else, they're going to charge you for like these high end kits, $10,000 to $15,000.
Yeah.
Where I mean that's great. And then after that, that's like the hard part for me is then we got to plumb it. Well, we got a crimper, we can plumb stuff up, no problem. It takes a day to plumb it. So if we have the time, we can really throw some stuff together. Where the other stuff, and I'm not trying to like, if I were doing it as a business, I would charge people,
100%,
the $10,000, $15,000 because it's a skill that they don't know.
Yeah.
But a lot of people, if you don't have the money to buy the $10,000, $15,000 turbo kit, you can do it. I think a lot of people are more capable than they think they are.
We also have a skill that you can use going forward too, right?
100%. I mean, I use it in my other business. We got to weld up transfer tanks or weld this on. I mean, it's just a good skill to have, and I'm all about just having my skill set as large and vast as possible because you never know when you're going to need it.
You never lose skills, right?
100%.
You can lose your business, the shirt off your back, but you will never lose those skills.
100%.
Well, that's how a lot of shops start. It's I can't afford to have somebody build this for me, so I got to do it myself. And then next thing you know, we're like, damn, I'm not half bad at this. And then it just kind of snowballs into now I'm build race cars.
Yeah, and that's how myself and Chris got together. We weren't tired of. I mean, I guess you do kind of get tired of paying other people to work on stuff and being on their timeline, and
that's the other thing too. It takes forever.
Yeah, you're just there's no. I mean, even I'm guilty of it when I worked on a couple customer cars where it's like I have other stuff going on, so I can't work on it, and their car ends up sitting in my shop for too long. So that's why I have 0 customer cars in my shop right now.
Okay.
It feels great. No one's waiting on me.
Yeah.
No one's texting me, and the text they're welcome, right? I get it because I'd be sending the same text. But I mean, it's nice just to do it yourself. Myself and Chris, we just kind of got to the point where we're like, hey, let's just try to do it ourselves so we don't have to pay someone. We don't have to wait on someone. We're on someone else's timeline. We're our own priority. And that's kind of how we started the whole LS Nasty Racing thing is he put a lift up in his shop and we were building a car there. And then we ran out of room, got another shop and had a couple more lifts and kept building cars and going fast and another shop and more lifts, more cars. And it just keeps going and going.
So it's just kind of like a fun shop for you guys to just do everything all in one place sort of deal.
Yeah. Chris and I agreed when we first started that if we're doing it for fun, right? So if we stop having fun, we're going to stop doing it. Okay. And so far we haven't stopped having fun.
Okay.
So there's the ups and downs. You get the days where it's frustrating, stuff's not going right, or expensive break. That has to be expected. But overall, I mean, what we do and what we're allowed to do and call it work, it's a dream, honestly.
The turbo kit thing was funny. We were watching a video. I think you were asleep on that one, actually.
No, it was the one where he was trying to put the two pipes together and he kept going back to the grinder and coming back.
Yeah,
and
he's like,
look at that.
hold it, nobody move. Nobody move. I was just laughing my fucking ass.
Dude, some of your like sayings that what we said tougher than a $2 steak. Like I think you're missing out on some T-shirt opportunities here, man.
No, I had some good ones for a while. We had a shirt that said it was one of the OG guys raced the Grand National locally here. He had the Fast Grand National. He had this shirt way back in the day. It said, in nitrous you trusted, but your ass got busted.
Yeah.
And had a turbo on it. Like that shirt right there sold like hotcakes. You know, we had our Grand National on there with flames coming out the exhaust and everything. But yeah, no, it was. I try to keep it fun with the YouTube videos.
Yeah.
Like you can watch my channel if you want to learn something. There'll be some knowledge in there that it might be something you already know, or it might be something new. We'll have it entertaining, and we'll show a cool car. You know, that's like those are the three things I try to hit in every video.
Yeah, you're showing off the cars. I think you're missing your calling as a used car salesman as well.
Like, have you ever seen Brody or whatever his name is on Facebook? Like, he's like a big Mopar guy.
I don't think so.
Oh, I've seen those
You know what I'm
ones.
talking about?
Yeah, he makes fun of the
I'll
Honda
send it to
guys
you.
and stuff too. Does he make fun of Honda guys sometimes when he's?
He makes fun of everybody.
Yeah,
He makes fun of his own
right.
people. Like, oh, you got your 392, you got a 392 credit score, whatever the fuck. No, one of the ones that got me, what was it that you said today? He's like, most of the things we say are lies, but this ain't.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, damn, that's just losing it. So,
Oh, that's funny.
where does that personality come from? Have you always been kind of an outgoing guy, or?
I think I just want to. I like to have fun. Like I get on my guys all the time. Like Dave's smiling back there because he knows I'm like. If he's not smiling when he comes in the shop, I'll be like, hey, can you run to your truck and grab that and find your better attitude? You know, like you better come in here and like we're gonna have fun. I mean, because I always go back to like my fiance. I drive her nuts because I'm always like, hey, I gotta stop by the shop because it's like my dream. I mean. When I was in school and I'd take like the little test and like, what do you want to do when you grow up? Like, I want to be a race car driver. And then they're like, oh, you can't put that down. Well, if you're gonna be a race car driver, you gotta work on cars. You gotta have a badass shop. So that's like, you know, the doorway to the dream is kind of how I look at it. So like, just to be able to walk in the shop and look at some of the cars on the lift, like I'm numb to it because I'm around it all the time. But like, I mean, we got badass twin turbo cars. We got cars with blowers on them, like billet motors. Like this is beyond what I ever could have dreamed. So to just be able to walk through there and just look at that stuff, it's so crazy to me. Like, dream come true.
You ever go back to those teachers and just be like, nah, it looks sucking, you know, something like that? No?
No, I can't remember their names. I wasn't paying attention in school. I can tell you that.
No. You ever have somebody message you, like being like, you inspired me sort of type of stuff every once in a while?
Yeah, and that to me is what makes it all worth it. You know, like when it's late at night and I don't want to edit the video, it's like just to get the message like that. To me, it makes it all worth it. Like I said, I just want to have like a positive, you know, outreach with what I do with my channel and inspire some people to get out there, go buy the welder, go build the turbo kit, you know, go work on the car, just try it and see where it takes you. Because 5 years from now, I mean. You could be sitting in the same spot I am. I mean, I'm no one special. I worked really hard and I didn't sleep a lot for a little while. And you have to sacrifice some stuff. But I mean, it's literally able to live my dream is something that I think everyone should be able to do.
What's your YouTube up to now?
147, I think it was this morning.
Is it?
Something like that,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, views are down, right? Like compared to like my peak, my prime, views are down. But I try to focus on doing the YouTube for
you, right?
For me, right?
Yeah.
The whole when I started making YouTube videos, I wanted to make videos that I would like to watch that I didn't think people were making. And then after I started doing the daily uploads, I'm like, you know how cool this will be in 10 years to be able to pull up videos and look back at some of the cool stuff we did. And even now, like we'll pull up videos for 3 years ago, and we'll just be sitting there just like, dude, can you look how funny this is? Like it's just to have everything just recorded in these cool videos of just what we were doing. To me, I think so unique. And like someday I'll be able to go back and show my kids, be like, yeah, this is what I did, you know?
Yeah.
I'm over there lopping someone's head off on the racetrack. I'm like, hell yeah, I was a badass. And they'll be like, shut up. No, you're not. And I'll be like, no, I was, you know, stuff like that.
That's cool going back too. I do it. Especially when you go back editing, when you're laughing your ass off editing, you're like, this would be a good one.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Have you met some cool people throughout it too? Like, for example, have you met other YouTubers and stuff too?
100%. Well, see, for me, it is. I haven't really had a good luck with, I guess, collaborating with other YouTubers. There's not a bunch really around where I'm at. I'm kind of like in my own little island. I've done some collab with other people, but do I have like a YouTube friend? No, I don't think so. I'm just kind of
YouTube friend.
I'm just kind of like lone wolfing it over here, just having a blast with my boys, and that's it. Where everyone else, I think location plays a big factor. You know, they get some guys close and they're able to collab and do some.
Well, look at
fun
like
stuff.
Bradenton. Like all those guys are on like one area over there.
It's like a hotbed of just content, and they're all putting out fire content. I'm a big Cletus fan. I watch all the video, like good quality. I watch it and just be laughing. Like that's why you watch YouTube, right?
Didn't you buy a stacker from him too?
I bought a stacker trailer from him. Yep. And I've known Cletus from like I guess when he just got started. I mean, we were at Streetcar Takeover, and I don't know what year it was. We probably had the same amount of subs at that time, you know.
Okay.
And then, you know, paths differ, right?
Yeah.
So he took off and was flying. And I mean, you watch his stuff every single movie he's done. He's played his cards right, you know, and they just make awesome content. So
When's your energy drink come?
I'm trying to get on with Alani right now.
Oh yeah, dude.
Right?
We all,
So my fiance, she buys these because they're like marketed towards girls, but I'll be in the stage lanes before every race.
Yeah.
Before I get in the car, I'm like, this pass is brought to you by Alani, you know. Shout out, go get it.
No, it's good shit,
people
man.
like
You ever
it,
had the around Halloween the witch's brew?
No.
Oh, dude, you gotta get that. One's the best.
We have a fridge at the shop, and I buy the case on Amazon.
Yeah.
And I just fill them up. And we have a couple tool trucks that work out of our shop. And the tool truck guy comes by like, man, I drank one of those yesterday. My head feel funny. I'm like, yeah, don't be chugging that thing, you know. I like them. They're good.
I'm totally cutting this section out because by the time this episode drops, we're gonna be sponsored by Reckin Energy. No, so one of my buddies started a company. At any point, he should get a shipment of his first batch. Or whatever. It's fucking good. I was part of the taste process.
Awesome.
Yeah, he's like, it's like fuel for hard workers and whatever.
Well, that's good,
dude. It's
That
good.
is good. Yeah.
I'm a big C4 guy right now, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, the flavor. You tried C4 flavors?
I try not to drink too many energy drinks because I feel like I'm gonna die if I.
Yeah.
You know.
That's half the fun.
No, I'm like. So
My chest gets tight about 3 hours after.
I was a big energy drink guy until I drank a Bang and I thought I was having a heart attack and I had to take a cold shower, and after that I kind of quit cold turkey. But now I'm like back on it with the Alani's, like here and there.
Well, 200
sporadically.
milligrams is like the standard too. I'm like, can we just go back to like the Red Bull era where everything's like 112? Like,
Yeah.
something normal.
Well, you slam yours too. Like I slowly sip mine throughout the morning.
That's horrible for your teeth, but yeah. I got this soft. I'm just updating my Wikipedia right now, by the way. Like it's like I got the softest teeth on the planet, bro. Like it's like all right, 16 cavities, 1 week, whatever.
My fiance works in the dental field, so
Okay.
that's
Can you
what
tell
the
me what's
joke with
fucked
me
up?
is. I got the veneers. That's what. Whenever we go out there, shake the tires, Chris will call me, be like, "Your veneers still in there?" I'm like, "Brother, leave me alone. We just shook the tires, all right?" But no, she's on me. You know, you gotta brush your teeth in the morning and that, and get the Invisalign, the whole nine. So,
Yep.
That's it.
Well, I just had a filling done last week, or like fixed or whatever, and I'm like, I'm that GT40. I'm like, oh, this motherfucker's gonna shake this loose.
Yep.
I gotta show you the video, dude. Like, well, actually, it's probably like any of the race cars. Like everything's just shaking. The panels are shaking. Yeah.
People think that riding in race cars is fun and enjoyable, and they're like, they're brutal, they're barbaric, you know.
Yeah.
Dude, I gave my man card back yesterday. I was in the passenger seat, but listen, GT40, like it's a small 2,300 pound car. I squeezed myself in there, like barely, like almost took my fucking head off because the door chops you. And he's ripping it. He's only doing like 70 or 80, and I'm just sitting here thinking like, I'm the airbag because there's nothing in front over there, right?
Yep.
Like there's no cage. Like I've been in 2,500 horse Vipers. Like it's got a cage, it's got Motec, cool.
Yeah.
Traction control in this car was his foot. And
Yeah,
I'm just sitting here thinking like, I gotta get my man card back.
That's the that's the ragged edge right there. I mean, that's just some barbaric shit.
In the 60s, they're doing 200 miles an hour for 24 hours.
Yep.
No. No, they don't make men like they used to, bro.
Not like that.
Do you, speaking of Motec, traction control, things like that, do you guys have like a go-to ECU you guys use, or are you running anything like that, or?
Yeah, I'm a Holly guy.
Okay.
Okay.
The Pro Mod's got Fuel Tech, and one of the other cars we're working on has got Fuel Tech, so I like to be able to do them both. I like the Fuel Tech. I like the Holly. I think they both have their ups and their downs, but yeah, I mean, I don't mess with any stock ECU stuff anymore. Everything's got to be on Holly or Fuel Tech. I don't know Motec, the Sheepy built stuff. They're both on Motec. This one's on Motec. Don't even know where to start. So again, not in my lane, so I don't mess with it.
It's a preference thing too. Like we've talked to guys that do multiple, and they just have their preferences.
Yeah. I tell people they'll say, hey, well, what ECU should I go with? I'm building this car. I tell them whatever your tuner likes. If your tuner's a Fuel Tech tuner, go with that because that's who's going to be doing it. Like my tuner might like Fuel Tech, and I put Holly on the car, well, he's not going to like it because it's not what he likes, you know? So I tell people all the time, whatever your tuner likes, whoever's going to be tuning it, you'll learn it. It's just all it is. It's just like welding. You know, it's scary to go in there and make changes and figure it out, but that's the only way to do it. So
you have a tuner you'd like to shout out that you guys work with?
yeah,
or?
so Kevin Mullins, T-Cam Performance, he is like my hero in drag racing. So he was, in 2014, he was the world's fastest man on radials, went 411, like crazy. Went like 200 and some mile an hour in 2014. I remember watching it on TV, and I'm like, Kevin Mullins is my hero. He's got a machine shop in Denton, North Carolina, so about 2 hours away, hour and 45 minutes away from here, T-Cam Performance, and they are badass. And they got a hub dyno, so he does all my dyno tuning, tunes my street cars, like he does like the base map, the fueling, timing, everything like that, and then I'll do the power management at the track. But he's badass. They build all our motors, do all our machine work, even our Proline stuff. We get the motors from Proline if we have any issues. Cylinder head needs to be repaired or whatever, we take it up there. They got CNC. They got like millions of dollars of just the latest, greatest technology, and they're absolutely awesome dudes. So big shout to TCAM Performance. I mean, they do everything from our HEMI stuff, our LS stuff, small block Ford. I mean, anything, they do it, and they're awesome.
Okay.
So he's my tuner, and he does Fuel Tech and Holly. He prefers Fuel Tech, but I like Holly, so I force him. He's good. He's proficient at both. So. But he always tells me, man, if this was on Fuel Tech, it'd go faster at the racetrack, and I just give him a hard time. So, but he's an awesome dude. Any tuning, like this car's on, both these cars are on big stuff. We like big stuff as well. Big stuff, I think it's 4 now, or big stuff, I don't know which one it is, but it's badass. They all do the same thing, just they look a little bit different.
Yeah.
You mentioned TKM, but who else do you respect in the industry?
I mean, I work with a bunch of different companies. So, I mean, I think that what I do with my channel is I keep it real. If I get a product that I don't think is, worth the money, or it's not good, or it comes incomplete, or it's got issues, I just say, hey man, I'm not bashing you. I'm telling you this is just not right. And I do the same thing with a product if it's good, So if you get and I don't really ask for a lot of stuff for free. I just go and buy it. I don't want anything for free. And a lot of companies, when I go to order, they'll be like, "Oh man, we'll hook you up and give me free shipping," and I appreciate that greatly. Or they give me 10% off. I mean, all that stuff it helps. But I mean, there's so many companies I work with that do an amazing job. Like Race Parts Solutions, I get all my materials for my turbo kit stuff from them. They're awesome to deal with. Force Inductions, Jose over there, awesome to deal with. I mean, I'm super fortunate to work with a bunch of companies. I'm sponsored with Race Tech. We've had a long-lasting relationship that's been great. We go to the PRI show with them every year, and our relationship started off with...
You just reminded me of a funny thing you said in one of your videos, the Race Tech and the Kirkies thing. You're like, yeah, man, if you get the Kirkies, like, you'll be in your seat, but if you want to live, you get a Race Tech or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, the Race Tech, it's a badass seat. It's a badass product. Yeah. I went and bought my first one, and I'm like, this thing's badass. And then I say on the video, and I'm like, if you work for Race Tech, you better get with me because this thing's badass and I can talk about it. And they sent me an email, and that started our relationship.
Okay.
So I think a lot of people, as far as sponsorships go, they call these companies and say, hey, sponsor me, hey, sponsor me. And it's a business transaction. It's a two-way street. So if you don't have anything to offer them, don't ask them to sponsor you.
Yes.
But I knew I could offer them some marketing value, and they reached out to me, and I've sold a bunch of seats for them, and they have me as a dealer. We sell them through our race shop.
Oh, cool,
to me, I like selling that because it's safety. It's overlooked a lot. You spend $40,000 on a motor, and then you don't want to put a $2,000 seat in your car. You want to put a $100 seat in your car? Come on. That don't make no sense.
Well, and the reason I say that is because we've had Porsche Cup car guys on the show who do race tech. Calvo says he thinks the only reason he's alive is because of his race tech, because he crashed at 180 or whatever at a half-mile event. It's like, I don't know if you ever saw the footage, but the car was unrecognizable. And it's it was a funny quote from the video. I had to bring it back.
Yeah, no, to me, I think it's, again, I want to do good with my channel, and if I can. Like, imagine if someone's going to go out there and they're going to put a Kirky seat in their car and they switch up and they put a race tech in there because of something I said on a video, and they go out there and wreck. Like, that to me is a big deal, like that helped them, and that's what I want. I just want to have a positive impact in the motorsports stuff.
Can you explain why something like, in your opinion, right, like how a race tech's better than a Kirky? In your experience.
So it's like comparing apples to oranges. A Kirky seat is just something to put your ass in, right?
Yeah.
It's $130, and there's nothing wrong with Kirky seats. I mean,
that's what I'm getting.
There's nothing wrong with it, and I think they have their place, right? But if you're going to go out there and build a high-level drag car, you're going to spend a bunch of money. I mean, some of these cars got $5,000, $6,000, $10,000 in wiring on the car, right? You can't really appreciate the wiring, but it needs it. Well, you can't appreciate the seat. but you need it. It's kind of one of those things where it's like, don't be so tight, invest in yourself. You go and you sit in a Kirky seat, it's great, it'll hold you in there.
Right.
I've gone fast Kirky seats. They don't have head containment, or at least like the standard version, which is like the gold standard in drag racing, does not have head containment. A lot of them aren't secured properly, where you have to support the back. You can't just bolt it on the floor and then just ride, because you get in a wreck, the whole back is not supported, it'll twist, it'll bend.
Okay.
So the Race Tech, it tells you where you can mount it. It's got nut certs in there. This is where you mount it, and it's got some in the back. You have to mount it in the back as well. It comes with head containment. It's so much, like, it offers so much more than a Kirky seat. Is it more expensive? Yes. Is it expensive for what it does? No, I think it's fairly cheap, honestly. I think it's very cheap. And we own Alliance Racewear as well. We sell fire suits.
Okay.
It's another one you see where these guys got $200,000 car and they're out in a $5 fire suit. Like, honestly, they got that shit from Summit, and they got their single layer pants on, their single layer jacket, and they're in a methanol turbo race car. Like, brother, that fire does not care, and I guarantee you that hospital bill is way more expensive than it would be to buy that $2,500 fire suit that will literally save your life.
Assuming you're lucky enough to get to the hospital too, right?
Yeah, I mean, dude, fire's no joke. I got a badass fire suit. I wear my head sock. I got a helmet. I got a hybrid on. Like, safety is no joke. Drag racing, and I think a lot of motorsports is a very reactive community. They're not going to do anything until someone gets hurt.
Yeah.
So I try to promote that safety and, you know, get a good seat in the car, be safe, wear your safety gear. And it drives me nuts. Like, I'll wear my same fire suit that I wear in my Pro Mod when I drive that street car. Because that fire, it don't know what car it is. It don't know if we're in a Pro Mod or a street car. It's fire. You know, so I try to promote the safety aspect of it pretty hard.
So when you say apples and oranges, just levels to it then, basically, right?
Yeah.
Like, so it's kind of like just a kind of like a base level seat versus something that's the next level.
Yeah, they don't offer any head containment. On
That's
like
kind of
their-
what I've heard.
You know,
yeah.
and Race Tech sells a seat with no head containment if you want a passenger seat or you want something for your street car. But if you were to get a Kirky seat and put the ISP padding around it and then have, you know, your chassis modified to secure it in all the proper locations, it's going to cost just as much, if not more, than a Race Tech seat.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
The way I always try and explain to people too is, if let's say you get in a wreck, you break your neck, you're in a wheelchair now, how much money would you pay to get the use of your legs back?
Oh,
you know what I mean? Like, where's the money at now? Right?
a great argument.
$2,000 to be like, take it. If you $6,000,
Yeah,
you know,
it's reactive. You know, that's the thing.
Yeah.
You after the fact. We had a car get wrecked at Rockingham, gnarly wreck. Didn't have a Race Tech seat in there. We were already working with Race Tech at the time, so we had some cars that had it, but didn't convert that car over to a Race Tech seat.
Is this one of your cars or?
It was Chris owned the car,
Okay.
and one of our other guys were driving it, and went towards the center line, came back and whipped the wall. He got really messed up. Was in the hospital, broken ribs, really bad head injury, broke his knee, lacerated spleen, had to have surgery, all the shit. The seat, it had a Kirky seat in there. It was like twisted and folded. It ripped where it was bolted in the back, it ripped it out. So the seat was like twisted over like that. He's in the hospital and he literally says, man, if I was in a Race Tech seat, I'd have walked away fine. And I mean, that's firsthand experience. That's not a sales pitch. That's someone in the hospital in rough shape saying, man, I wish I was in that seat. And that's just something that, like, we see all the time is just reactive, you know. So we try to be a little bit proactive, outfit the cars, you know, make sure they have all the safety stuff on there and be safe. It's not a matter of if you wreck, it's when. You know,
Right.
You make enough laps, you're going to wreck. It's part of it.
Have you personally had any safety scares? Knock on wood if you haven't.
Not yet. I mean, I've had some. I've wrecked before. I haven't hit anything. You know, that's the difference. Is you can wreck and not hit anything, and I've done that a couple times.
Okay, what does that look like?
So I was driving this piece of shit Fox body factory seat. I bolted in the factory lap belt earlier that day, just not abiding by any of my safety rules. And it was a twin turbo LS, and left one of the lower control arm bars, the jam nuts loose. And from the ride up there, doing the burnout, whatever, it kind of lengthened a little bit. So the tire ended up touching the fender, and we got about half track, going like maybe 100, and it got upset back there and pretty much locked up the tire. And start going back and forth, almost hitting the wall, skidding, just steering the wheel, trying to keep it off the wall until you go about 10 mile an hour, and then you go, oh shit, and you drive it off. And that was one of my wrecks. I didn't hit anything, didn't tear nothing up, but I was completely out of control, fighting for my life, you know, with my lap belt from '87, just fighting for my life in there. And yeah, so a wreck with no crash. I mean, it happens a bunch, and that one was a good one. Some of the other stuff, it's I think a good driver is someone that doesn't allow themselves to get into a really bad spot where they have to have a crazy save. You see a lot of people, they're sawing the wheel, they're out there, they drive to the center line, they're almost wrecking, they almost hit the wall, and they're like, man, he's a driver, what a great save. To me, I don't think personally that's a good driver. I think a good driver has the driver IQ and the knowledge to say, hey, I'm out of shape, I need to stop before I get in trouble. So that's just kind of my aspect, or my insight on that is, I try to make smart decisions in the car, live to race another day. This shit's expensive. I don't have to buy the same shit twice to rebuild it.
I've seen people do that too, where they go to take off and it didn't go down exactly like they wanted it to, and we're done.
Yeah, I mean,
what the hell is this pass going to be anyway? It's not going to be when you're splitting that many hairs. At that point, what's the point?
Yeah, an aborted run, it's just, if it don't go down like you want, or it goes out there and gets upset, you just quit. Now, when you're racing, obviously, you're going to push a little bit harder in competition to get to that finish line first. But you still have to know when to quit. That's my biggest thing is, if it ain't in the cards, it ain't in the cards. If we lose this round, we're going to race next weekend. The guys might get mad at you. Oh, wow, if I were driving, I would have stayed in it. Well, it's tough to say that you weren't driving, Yeah. So especially when you got to work on it. Working on a wrecked car is the worst. Trying to pull the motor out of something that's wrecked, and it's not fun. So we experienced that, and making smart decisions is key, I think. The longevity of the car, the program, everyone. Is just got to make smart decisions.
When did that switch happen, right? Because usually when you're young, full of piss and vinegar or whatever is that what the old guys say? Help me out.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
help me out here. What are you asking me?
Right. When did that switch happen? When did safety come on your radar? Or is it always a concern?
Yeah, I mean, I always wanted to be safe. I'm terrified of fire, right? So I've always had a nice fire suit. But I think when you really kind of step back and look at, how much money and how much time and your life you have invested in some stuff, I don't want to go out there and, if we're racing for $5,000, it ain't worth $5,000, to go out there and wreck it.
So just naturally were like, all right, we should probably be safe about this.
A lot of guys, from my perception, they drive with their ego. They drive like they're trying to prove something. And I have nothing to prove to anyone, right? I'll go out there, if I mess up, I say, hey man, I mess up. It's on video, I tell people, I'm not perfect. I'm going to tear some shit up and I'm going to show you guys, because that's real life. If you go and only put out awesome videos of you doing great, that's not real. So, I have no ego when I drive. I drive from a competitive standpoint if I want to win and I want to do the best. And there's going to be times where I mess some stuff up or forget to do something, I do it wrong, and it don't bother me one bit, I go home and we're going to try again next week. So some guys drive where they want to be known as, oh, he's a badass, or oh, he was driving the hell out that thing. And there are times when you do have to drive and make some, hairy decisions. But for the most part, if I go out there and I have to abort a run, it don't bother me one bit. That's just what we do, and drive with no ego.
That's it. Quit looking at me like that, man.
What's your favorite power adder? Do you have one?
I'm a turbo guy.
Okay.
I'm a turbo guy for sure. Turbos, they sound cool. They make good horsepower. You could rev the shit out of them all the time because the motor, it don't care. The Pro Charger stuff, it's badass. It's loud, but they're finicky. And, I like a screw blower, but they're a lot of work. So I don't want to work on them too much. So the turbo is perfect for me. The least amount of maintenance in my book, makes great power, and they sound cool.
Any particular brand?
I like Force Inductions. I run the FIS Turbos on pretty much everything. So I run, they're my Peterbilt's got a Force Induction turbo on it. My diesel trucks, they just make good turbos for all applications, and we love them. Make good power, and had great success with them. Have had 0 failures, which is crazy to me.
You're probably pushing them pretty hard too.
Oh yeah, I mean we've gone so fast on we've gone 4s on twin 62 millimeter turbos, which they're not. They shouldn't go that fast. And overspin them, and they keep taking a beating and keep going. So yeah, Force Inductions, we run, their billet 102s, we got them on cars, we got their twin 62s, we got 76 on my truck, you name it, they make a turbo for it, we run it, and it works great.
You do any diesel work too then, or not really?
I try not to, because I don't really know what I'm doing, but I can tear some shit up. I had a 700 horsepower 5.9 Cummins. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, yep.
We got our shop truck, which is a $2,000 300,000 mile 6.7 Cummins. So I called Force Inductions and got a turbo so we can compound it there. Just if we're gonna go to the racetrack and this is gonna be our shop truck, it's got to at least have something different, and cool, be modified. So we got a hood stack for it and everything, and minor diesel stuff, I would say, but
Okay.
Are we in that area too, where you guys lift the front end and drop the back end real low too? Yeah.
Not us though.
Right.
Not us. The squatted trucks are real, and it is brutal, and they sound so bad. I'm surprised we have you seen a couple go by?
I haven't yet, but as soon when you were talking about turbos, there was I think a 6.0 truck that drove by. I heard the turbo whistle.
Yeah, all the guys with the squatted trucks are still probably sleeping because they ain't got no jobs, so they sleep in, right? But yeah, the 6.0s and the 7.3s, you'll hear them. They're big. Everyone's got a diesel truck around here.
Okay.
I think they just banned that too recently, didn't they?
Yeah, but they don't care. Those kids out there, they put their hat on like this, and
They squat forward with the hat.
Oh yeah, and they're just like lean back, sitting like that. Yeah, yep, that's it. So, and it's funny is we sell the wheels at our shop. We got like the big 26-inch snowflake reps, so they come in there and they buy them.
The retail side of things. Or?
Yeah. I do a little bit of that with the storefront. So we got the big wheels up in the window, so the squatted truck guys come by and look, and if that's your thing, it's your thing, all right?
Yeah.
I'll make my little comments here, but you do you.
I put some heavier springs in the front of my truck just to support my snowplow, because up there we have to push snow around, right?
Oh yeah.
And it's
frozen
like,
water, but I don't know.
Yeah, you can't even. I mean, it's like barely a little bit. It lifted just a little bit in front. My dad won't stop giving me hell. I'm like, you can't even tell if you're really looking at it, and he won't stop making fun of me.
So I got 5 plow trucks. We use it for the storm stuff.
Oh, okay.
That's right, because you go all way to fuck up north.
Yeah, we got they're all you guys will appreciate this. They're all like 99 to 03 Silverados. One of them's a Suburban 2500.
Yeah.
They all got 6 liters with cams and shaved heads on them.
Really?
So they're all beating the ground, and they all got. We jack them up in the front. We turn the keys all the way up. So like you said, when they're riding around in the summer with no plows on, they're a little bit high in the nose. But yeah, they we can't leave anything stock. So they got headers and full exhaust, and they're our work trucks.
That's awesome. So is it just to like get all the shit off the road when you're out there? I mean,
yeah. So we do all the telecommunication stuff. So the plow trucks we use them to clear the access roads to the cell sites.
Oh, okay.
So and they're good because we use skid loaders and mini X's and stuff like that. Occasionally we use a dozer, but they're the most mobile, right? And they can haul generators, which is what we do as well, and refuel generators. So they're kind of the best tool for the job. They can push the snow out the way. They can refuel the generator. If we need to bring one out there, they can tow it out there. So I got 5. They're all $3,000-$4,000 trucks, but down here there's no rust, right? So they're good to go.
They're perfect.
And I freshened the motor, so we took all the motors out, put new pistons in them, shaved the heads. They all have a different camshaft. So one's got a BTR, one's got TCam, one's got NK Performance, one's got Tick Cam. So they all have different camshafts, and we got them tuned by our buddy Chris Neves, Blaze High Performance. Did a great job, and yeah, so they've been the first year they got like 14 to 20,000 miles put on them, and it's cool. You go to a gas station with a plow truck, and the thing's just counting them off.
Yeah.
Like, man, what kind of motor's in that? I said, man, it's got a Corvette motor in it. That's what we gotta say.
That's freaking cool too, because then like
cool.
it's cheaper than getting a new truck.
Oh yeah, 100%. And with the plows on them, especially like we're driving from North Carolina to Vermont with a plow on the front, it just beats the shit out of them. So I found that year model is the best truck. Like $700 to build the whole front end. There ain't no point to put it onto these new trucks. And I buy my plows from auctions, and they're old, wore out, and we get paid for the drive up, and if they're sitting around, so a lot of times they don't do a lot of work, and they're there with the equipment, so we get paid.
Yeah.
I'm surprised I never asked you this. So what's a plow weigh?
I don't know, maybe like
mine weighs 1,000 pounds.
Holy
yeah,
shit,
probably
really?
It's
1,000
a
pounds.
stainless steel V plow.
Oh, you see, that's a nice.
Yeah.
You got a nice setup there. I got like a 1999 Western Unimount maybe on that.
Yeah.
7.5,
Like not a V then, like
Nope.
a single blade.
It's just kick to the side going down 95, 70 mile an hour the whole way.
It may sound really dumb, but I prefer kind of a straight blade. I'm getting used to the V plow. It's I kind of figured out how to work it. It's nice that you can scoop some stuff when you're doing snow. But I mostly did it for when I'm driving down the road. It's really nice to be able to kick it like that. It just looks nicer on the truck.
All the boys hate me because I'm like, man, you go to Trenton, New Jersey today. So load up and head there, and they're in the plow trucks, and they're halfway up there going 65, 70 because it'll overheat. Yeah. And the plow kicked to one side, so they're driving like this the whole way. They're like, man, I hate you so much. I'm like, gosh, get that money, baby. You getting it.
Yeah. I've been some of those cell tower sites. I used to do satellite communication stuff, so I've been to plenty of those and had to put up stuff like that. But
yeah, we're plowing the gravel access road, so you can imagine it's got to sound like a Corvette out in the woods, just ripping the limiter, because those guys are out there just wide open. pushing snow. So yeah, it's fun. Dave, where'd you go? You guys went all the way up to Wisconsin?
Yeah,
Wisconsin, Maine.
Really?
Yeah, and they just drive these 2002 Silverados with a plow on them and a cam all the way there. So they're good old trusty trucks.
So you guys don't even, it's anywhere. You'll go anywhere that it's got.
Oh, yeah. Continental
Okay.
48, we got the contract for all of it.
Okay.
So yeah, so we do. Anytime there's power outages, we are working. So, and I have guys all over the place. Like, I use my YouTube to promote it. So if anyone's watching, you can send me an email, johndocrecovery@gmail.com. We'll put it on the screen here,
Yeah.
right? A shameless plug.
Yeah, that's
And it's a great side gig. So these guys get paid really well. We pay them daily, even if they sit in the hotel. So, as soon as you leave the house, you're getting paid a day rate. And the work is, minimal. We pay for your travel time to and from the event. We reimburse all fuel. We put you in a hotel. And I call it the race car fund. I get a lot of guys that are building race cars off of it. It's not a full-time job. I wouldn't tell you to quit your job, but you go out there, you work a couple days, you work a week, you make a couple $1,000s, and you come back, get back to your normal life, doing your work, and the paycheck comes in, and boom, you got your new turbo, you get your new converter. That's kind of how it is. Most of the guys that work for me are in that motorsports background, so it's really good gig. So,
dude, you just came up with like the sickest name ever, like racecarfund.com or something like that.
Yeah.
Imagine, like, it's kind of like what was it, like Angie's List or like Craigslist?
Just looking for side jobs to.
Well, think about the
support your
skills that
habit.
car guys have, right? Like whether it's like like fab work or.
Well, that's what I love about it. All these guys are like mechanically inclined, so they should go up there. And all we do is we haul generators to cell sites. We hook them up, and then we refuel them while the site has no commercial power. So it's super easy. A lot of downtime, a lot of waiting around. So these guys, we pay them on a 12-hour minimum. So we might go and send them in a hotel in Trenton, New Jersey, and we don't have work for 3 days. Well, they get paid their 12 hours for 3 days straight, and then we pay them to drive back home.
Yeah.
So super, super easy job. And if there's an issue, this is what I love is we kind of have like a family, right? So if one of our guys is up there and his brakes go on his truck, someone in the crew is a mechanic or has mechanical background. They fix that shit,
huge.
and they all come home. So it's like no man left behind. And I try to, my three main things are, pay them good, make it an enjoyable work environment. They will come back and work. So that's kind of how I base my business model. And we've been operating for the past like 5 or 6 years with like 1 or 2% turnover. So,
holy shit!
Yeah, it's been great. So
that's crazy.
Yeah.
Whereas some industries it's like 50% too. Like,
Oh yeah.
Yeah, pretty much if they go in the field and work, they're coming back. And then they're blowing off. Anytime it rains, like, hey, we got any work? And it's awesome. It's a really good group of guys. It's another thing too. It's like, the friend group that we built from there. Like, if it wasn't for YouTube, that's how I promote it. I wouldn't know half these people. And some of these people, I know them from Kentucky and Illinois and Iowa and Florida and Louisiana. And I'll text them, we'll make a pass, and then we're watching on TV, and they send us a text like, you just never know who you'll meet, where you'll end up. It's crazy. So that's why I try to tell everybody, like, man, just go and do it. Just try it out.
Yeah.
So
you got 6 weeks to claim racecarfund.com.
I know, I got to.
What's the craziest storm you guys have done? Or somebody on your team or something?
Yeah, so we had that really bad Hurricane Helene that hit the mountains of the Carolinas. You guys familiar with that?
Yeah.
So we had crews stationed up there.
Okay.
And so
that's the one where Cletus had like helicopters going and all that. Yeah.
Yep. So they were up there. So we had crews. I had about 200 guys working from, the mountains of the Carolinas all the way down to Florida, because that's where all the outages were. And my guys up in the mountains, the main fiber for the cell tower up there, which goes under 40, got washed out. So for 2 days we had no phone communication with them. So they would go to the yard and stand by and wait for dispatch, and they never got dispatched. So at the end of the day, they had to go back to the hotel, and they were sitting up there. And after 2 days, we finally got in touch with them, and we're like, "What's going on up there?" And they're like, "Bro, it is a mess up here. Like, it's a mess. No power. We're getting low on food. What do we got?" So we ended up getting them, sat phone. We were able to communicate with them, and we were able to get them to work. And some of these sites they're going to, it's completely washed out. We got, dozers pulling the generator up, and they're hooking everything up. It's crazy.
It was nasty. I had some friends that drive down from Wisconsin, and like they were getting like told to turn back.
Yeah, some weird stuff going on.
Yeah.
I'm a big stay in my lane kind of guy.
Yeah.
We deal with the telecommunication stuff, so we focus on that. We got our little paperwork that we can get us to where we need to go. But to have a hurricane, something like that, hit North Carolina, on the beach, like the coastal cities, if they get tore up by a hurricane, you're like, you kind of saw it coming. It's like you don't, not necessarily you don't feel bad, but you expect it. When it hits the mountains of the Carolinas, it's like those guys, they're helpless.
Intense.
They're helpless up there. Like, they didn't expect it. They were prepared for it. And it hits kind of different, especially being home like that.
Like, what was it, Asheville that got pretty torn
Yeah.
up? Yeah, I remember seeing like some.
Well, I had a whole Mustang week trip planned. I didn't go that year. I went the next year because hurricane was coming over. I think they canceled the event.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, and the Carolinas, it's, we're in a pretty good spot where we don't get hit with a lot of shit. That's why we travel a bunch. Like, hurricane season, we're in Florida a bunch, Georgia, Louisiana's a big one too. Okay. So that's kind of where we stay. But every once in a while we get one on the coast out here.
He's really selling me on this North Carolina. I did not. So hurricanes aren't as crazy down over here then, huh?
Dave, when's the last hurricane we got? It was what, 2016 maybe? Yeah, it's been a while. Yeah. 2016.
Wow, so like a once in a decade sort
We're
of thing.
due for one. No, I'm just kidding.
No, yeah.
I'm just kidding.
That's crazy.
If they happen, we go to work, but we don't wish for them.
Right.
Yeah.
It's kind of one of those things where they're going to happen. We'll take the work, and what we do is we make it so 911 and all the emergency services, they go to the cell towers that we use. So we try to get the first responders able to communicate as fast as possible. That's our job. So we try to do our small part. Yeah. And everyone involved makes a little bit of money. So
well, it's not like you're a door knocker or like a storm chaser either, right?
Yeah.
No disrespect, but yeah. Okay. So man, we're coming up on 2 hours here.
Yeah.
Coming up on Steam.
Yeah.
Okay, so obviously you have your game plan for kind of like the next year, just keep improving. Are you mostly gonna stick to like the pro mod side of things, or are you gonna work on some of the other stuff still?
So my goal is be successful in pro mod, be successful in the radial racing as well. So really kind of just focus on both sides of the program and just be competitive. I mean, we want to go to races, we want to win. We don't want to be any class fillers. Make our our upgrades. I think we're pretty much done expanding as far as the car collection and the amount of shit we have. Maybe even downsize a hair. I'm trying to sell some projects so we can be more efficient. So that's my goal, is be more efficient, be more competitive, and get the projects that we have knocked out so we can get to the racetrack and set some records, win some races, and have some fun.
Sweet. Well, on that note, should we pop the usual 3?
Yeah. This is going to be another. I wonder how many of these are going to be Fords.
Oh, okay. Let's see how this goes.
All right, so at the end of every episode, we like to ask our guests to pick 3 cars. I need a track car, a daily driver, and a show car. You have an unlimited budget, build whatever you want, weld 2 cars together.
All right, so what are they again? You got a track car,
Yep.
a daily driver, and a show car.
Yep.
Got a show car. I've never even thought of a show car. I don't even a show car. All right, I'm gonna change it up. My show car is gonna be a Peterbilt. Got to have a badass show truck.
Been a while since we've heard one of those.
Got to be like a stretch 379, like 320-inch wheelbase, all aired out, flat top sleeper. That's what it's got to be.
Sick.
My 15-year-old daughter likes that kind of shit.
Yeah. Well, so our rig, we got one that's not. It's not a show truck. It's a good working truck, but it's a stretch 379. It's badass. But a show truck one, like all done up with the lights, polished, never really goes on the road unless you're going to a truck show. That right there, I'd lose it over that. So stretch 379. My track car, I don't know. I mean, I don't want to say a pro mod because I feel like that's boring. It'd be like a badass radial car. Probably this car that we're building right now. It's called Beetlejuice. It's a first gen Camaro. It's absolutely badass. Twin turbo LS. I'd say that'd be my dream. Where it's almost a reality. The dream track car because it's just beautiful. Badass twin turbo, and then the daily. I hate to say it, but we got to go with the Mustang.
Yeah,
we got to go with the Mustang.
Yeah,
we got to go with like a 03 Terminator Cobra.
Yeah, that's a good one.
So they're cool cars. So that's my 3: a Peterbilt, a first gen Camaro drag car, and a Terminator.
Yeah,
I think those are good answers.
They are good.
It's been a while since I've heard of a Peterbilt. It's been probably. I haven't heard that in at least 50 episodes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a truck guy. Like I'm a big kid, I like big trucks, I like equipment, and I like race cars. So that's me.
Mm-hmm. You guys do off-road stuff here too? Side-by-sides, anything like that, or?
Not really, no. Some of the guys do. There's like a big like mud and off-road park down the road, but I burn all my money already. I ain't got no more money. I ain't got no more money left to build a side-by-side.
Yeah.
So.
Well, sweet, man. On that note, where can people find you?
YouTube. John Doc on Instagram. It's John_Doc1, and for any business inquiries, you could shoot me an email. I know you know how to edit.
Again?
What's that?
What was the email again?
It's johndocrecovery@gmail.com.
Cool.
So that's for your work stuff. If you want me to work on your race car, ain't gonna happen.
Ain't gonna happen.
Ain't gonna happen. Sorry about it.
Sweet, Dan.
If you want to buy a race car, though,
Yeah, we got some for sale.
Hey,
So if you want to buy some, hit me up. We have some badass stuff, and we don't like to change hands too much, but if they go to a good home and can be used and you enjoy it, I mean, come on, buy it.
So the Trailblazer, that's number one on the list. What
Yep,
else
I'll
is-
probably sell my Vet next to it.
Okay.
It's a badass street car, 400 in the back, 427 Pro Charger F1X on Holly.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's like a little sleeper. It's got factory seats, but the thing is a bear at the racetrack. It is
Okay.
fast. Went to the semifinals in the street car class last month, so big semifinals guy. I can't get to the finals for some reason.
Yeah.
It's been a rough year so
Oh,
far.
that's what I was gonna ask you. Do you have a favorite track or event?
Favorite tracker event. I mean, I like running Galat, which is our local track 4 miles down the road. I mean, really any event they have out there, I'm there supporting. So
Okay.
it's just, I'm not partial to any specific event. We ran Pro Mod out there. It was a blast. We ran the small tire stuff out there. It's a blast. The facility is amazing, and supporting local. I mean, it's in our backyard, so I love it.
I should ask this earlier. This is a Minnesota goodbye, by the way. Midwest goodbye. What's it called? Is there any money to be made in racing?
So if you want to make $1 million racing, start with 10.
yeah, all right.
That's what it is. So
Yeah.
you will not make any money racing. You got to do it for the love. You got to do it for the competitiveness, and you got to do it just because you want to do it. Don't go into racing trying to make money. And I say the same thing. Don't go into YouTube trying to make money either. Go and do it with some passion because you love it. And if you love it and you put your heart into it, it'll probably reward you.
Cool. Well, I think that's a great way of finishing it.
Yeah.
Dan?
You can find us at Gunna Garage or Mr. Gunna Garage on Facebook.
Cool. Awesome. Well, John, thank you very much for coming on. This is a blast, man.
Yeah, man.
Dan, thanks for existing, and we'll see y'all next time.
Thanks again for watching the show, guys. Be sure to go into the description down below and check out all of our sponsors. They are what make this show possible. It allows us to travel the country and talk to some really cool guests. So be sure to check them out, support them just like you support us, and see y'all next time.